get it off of pit road. We'll have to wait and see if they can remedy the situation.
Scheduled to go 22nd in today's race. Here's the lineup quickly. Bill Elliott is the pole sitter with a new track record, and Sterling Marlin starts alongside. Mark Martin and Chuck Bound will start in row number 2, and as you look at the rest of the starting lineup, we can tell you several things that might be a factor here today, including, of course, tire wear.
Tire wear is always a problem here at Darlington. Will be no different today.
It was a very, very fast qualifying round on Friday with 26 cars breaking the track record. Here's our other pit reporter for the day, Dr. Jerry Punch.
And guys, unbelievably, Bill Elliott, awesome Bill, just might be back after an incredible or very disappointing 1993. He is back on the pole for the first time since Phoenix a year ago. It's the same race car he ran at Phoenix. He has not led a lap thus far this year. That could change about a lap and a half from now.
It's our first NASCAR Winston Cup telecast of 1994, and Ned, looks like the yellow is still out, so we may go at least one more lap.
I think there's something on the racetrack somewhere, Bob, that they got to go out and check, so I think they will give them one more lap, which is a break for the guys. Jeff Burton and his crew in the 8 car, they're still working on it. It's still sitting on pit road, so it gives them a little bit more time.
And Jeff Burton crashed that car yesterday afternoon in that last practice session. Hit the wall. He's not been on the racetrack since then. Also, let me tell you that Derek Cope in the Fingerhut car also crashed yesterday afternoon in the last practice session.
Todd Bodine took the provisional to get into this race. We had 8 drivers go home. Billy Standridge, Rick Corelli, Bob Schacht, H.B. Bailey, Andy Belmont, Norm Benning, Curtis Markham, and Loy Allen. Here's John once again.
Well, Bob, they are working very hard, very frantically. One note, they still haven't gotten the engine fired. They must take the green flag at the start of the race, or they're going to have to park it regardless if they get it fixed. After this, we've got one more lap to go before they go green, so they've got just a short amount of time to get the engine fired, or they're going to have to park their car.
Well, that's a tough break because Jeff Burton is leading the Max Race Cars Rookie of the Year standings going into this race. Had a tremendous run at Atlanta a couple of weeks ago.
That will really be a tough break for Jeff, and especially after what the crew went through fixing that crashed race car.
There are 5 drivers starting this race on Hoosier tires. Jeff, one of them. The others are Jeff Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, Jeff's brother Ward Burton, and also Greg Sachs. Of course, Darrell Waltrip we mentioned. So now we're a half a lap from getting the green. This is a 293 lap race. As I indicated during Speed Week, that we've never done a 400-mile race in the spring here. They've always been 500-milers.
And NASCAR has told us that Burton and his crew has met all the criteria to run in the race. So if they get the car repaired, he will be able to start even though he doesn't take the green.
The pace car has pulled off the racetrack, and now 41 drivers look for a green flag in the beginning of this event here this afternoon that's being run under cloudy skies and the threat of rain. A huge crowd is on hand here, perhaps the largest ever at Darlington, and here comes the field out of turn number 4 looking for the green flag, being led by Bill Elliott. The Burton car is fired, the green is out, the race is on.
Burton's actually taking the green flag on pit road. He's coming down across the starting line right now.
There goes Jeff onto the racetrack while the field accelerates through the 3rd and 4th turns.
Bill Elliott no longer has not led a lap in 1994. He just led the first lap here at Darlington.
But Mark Martin is right on his back bumper and looking for the opportunity to pass, while Sterling Marlin is running in 3rd position. Those 3 cars have broken away from Chuck Bound, Brett Bodine, and the others. Here is Marlin now making a move to the inside and taking 2nd position from Mark Martin as Elliott continues to show the way.
Back in the pack a little bit, Ernie Irvin went from 11th to 8th on the first lap. He's on the move.
This is the view that Mark Martin sees.
And John Kernan is down in the Jeff Burton pit.
We're with Kenny Wilson, the crew chief. And Kenny, what was the problem? You changed spark plugs and then you finally got it fired.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it wasn't fired there. We put the plugs in and got it fired off. Got a caution coming in lap 25, and we're going to try to get it all back together right then.
That's
Kenny Wilson the word. Now, what he's talking about on the caution on lap 25, if there's not a caution before that in the drivers' meeting this morning, Gary Nelson told the drivers that they would throw the caution flag at lap 25 in order to come in and check the tire wear. Now, I apologize for getting that first thing wrong, guys, about him taking the green flag, but that's what we were told down here. There was a little bit of confusion. NASCAR officials finally got it all cleared up.
Elliott continues to lead, but now Sterling Marlin looks to the inside in turn 1, stays in second position as Mark Martin runs third. Fourth is Chuck Bound, and fifth is Brett Bodine, while Ken Schrader and Ernie Irvin follow him.
Well, Sterling Marlin had an awfully good qualifying run starting on the outside pole, but he said after he made his qualifying run, he didn't have a good qualifying car. He said, I got a good car for the race, so it looked like he knew what he was talking about.
Here's the Pyroil in-car camera being carried by Mark Martin, who's running in third spot.
I tell you what, not very much effort with that steering wheel on Mark Martin's car. Normally they'll be fighting that thing like a swarm of bees, but watch, just barely back and forth. That's a sign of a great handling race car.
And now Sterling Marlin once again challenges Bill Elliott as he pulls alongside him down the backstretch. They go into that precarious third turn, and Marlin gains the top spot, but Elliott will cut down to the inside and race Sterling side by side as other battles continue in the back of the pack.
Ernie Irvin still moving up towards the front.
And Sterling Marlin leads the lap, has passed Bill Elliott. There he goes. And this is the in-car camera from Bill Elliott's car.
Ernie Irvin has moved to sixth position from his 11th starting spot. Bill Elliott runs second. Another battle rages on. That's John Andretti leading that group of 4. Ricky Rudd also there, along with Jimmy Spencer and Steve Grissom. Kyle Petty comes along, and so does Michael Waltrip. And now Spencer pulls to the inside of Rudd.
Spencer wasn't able to get alongside Ricky Rudd, so wisely backed off. See that Kyle Petty and Michael Waltrip have caught this group.
That's about 20th, 21st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And Irvin continues his march toward the front. He has passed Ken Schrader and now has Brett Bodine just ahead of him in the Quaker State Ford. Now Ernie comes off of the second corner and goes to the inside of Brett and gets him, and Ken Schrader will come along.
Brett started fifth. Still running in that position until right now. Now he drops back to 7th.
And Dale Earnhardt is also moving up. Here he goes to the inside of Brett and passes him.
Wow! And here comes Rusty Wallace trying to follow Earnhardt towards the front.
Earnhardt started 9th. Now 7th.
Behind these cars, we see Jeff Gordon on the inside of Jeff Bodine. They're racing down the backstretch. Bodine backs off. Gordon takes a spot. Great pass, Bobby Labonte following this group of cars. It's a good run for Bobby Labonte. And Dale Jarrett right behind Labonte.
Take long on this racetrack, Benny, for the chassis to sort out so that you know what you got. They can run awfully fast for a few laps. When the tires get heated up and a little bit of rubber strips off of them, that's when the chassis really comes into play.
There's Harry Gant making his final start in a spring race at Darlington. Of course, he'll be here for the Southern 500 for his final race here at the track. Too tough to tame. It's Sterling Marlin leading Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Chuck Bound, and Ernie Irvin in the early stages of the Trans-South Financial 400.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it if you can.
reach. It's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow! I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
Now when you buy a case of quality Valvoline motor oil, you can send away for a Valvoline t-shirt.
Honey, can you pick up some milk?
Okay.
And become a member of the Valvoline Performance Team. Join the team, and you'll feel like you're right in the middle of the action. So buy a case and get a shirt, plus great deals on Valvoline racing gear and a lot more.
Honey, did you get some milk?
People who know use Valvoline. Also available with Mark Martin NASCAR design.
ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Allied Signals, Autolite spark plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. By the Valvoline Performance Team. And by your local Yamaha dealer who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and snowmobiles. Bill Elliott continues to run in second position behind Sterling Marlin. We're riding with him right now. Some great battles going on all over the racetrack. Here is Morgan Shepherd and Derek Cope racing side by side. And for a car that was badly damaged yesterday, Cope isn't doing too bad.
I tell you what, folks, he smashed the wall awfully hard going in the third corner. And I'm surprised this car is running this well as Morgan Shepherd was able to get by.
That's 16th and 17th they were running for.
There is Ted Musgrave behind Derek Cope.
It's a shame, too, because Derek Cope's car was running very, very well. But there was Musgrave trying to get alongside. Can't make it.
And Derek Cope's car owner, Cale Yarborough, celebrating his 54th birthday today. Happy birthday. Jerry Punch has a report in the on the pit lane about the driving style that's being adopted here in the early going. Jerry?
Guys, you mentioned Derek Cope, who hit the wall yesterday. He and another car involved because there was a lot of concern about the wear of the right front tire. Now, a lot of drivers said we may have to be conservative at the start of tomorrow's race, talking about today's Transouth 400. But because, as you heard John Curtis say, that 25-lap pit stop, if they're going to let them stop at 25 laps and look at the wear on the right front tire, then you better go ahead and use it up and drive as hard as you're going to drive all day long. And that's why the Kodak crew has turned Sterling Marlin loose to go run as hard as he can run for 25 laps, then come in, and we will all take a look at those right front tires.
And it's obviously the word that several drivers have been given. Here is the 5-car of Terry Labonte on the inside of Cope, and that is Hutch Strickland coming along also, passing
Ted Musgrave.
But Strickland in the Smoke and Joe's car number 23 right in the middle of all of that. Here comes Kyle Petty.
And as you probably saw, Dale Earnhardt has moved to second position, passing Bill Elliott, while we watch this battle here. Now there is Strickland, also passing Cope.
Tires are wearing on Derek Cope's car. He's struggling.
And we're only 6 laps away from that caution. And here is Jerry Punch with the story on Mark Martin.
We told you some drivers are going to be very aggressive in the first 25 laps. Mark Martin has a very, very loose race car. Steve Mill and the crew realize no need for Mark to go ahead and use the car up right now because we're going to get the stop at lap 25 and check the tires. So Mark, just be patient, back off the throttle, save the car, we'll dial it in, and then we can go get him after the first caution.
And here is Dale Earnhardt taking the lead from Marlin, making a nice move between the third and fourth turns, and Dale Earnhardt picks up 5 bonus points.
How about that?
Hey, that's pretty impressive, coming from 9th place up as good as Sterling Marlin was running and coming up through the pack. And you can see there how he did it.
Yeah, the interval shrank from 1.9 seconds between Marlin and Earnhardt on the 13th lap to 1.1 on lap number 17.
And look at those lap times by Earnhardt. 32.5 was the fastest, and they qualified at about 30 flat. So already these cars are slowed down 2.5 seconds.
And they're driving just as hard as they did when they were qualifying. It's just simply that the tires have heated up and scrubbed a little rubber off.
Now we see Bill Elliott. He's dropping back, our pole sitter, all the way back to the 5th spot right now.
He's having to fight the wheel a little bit there, too. He might be getting a little bit loose.
than 3 laps before they'll come in or get the automatic caution to come in and check the tire wear. Right behind Elliott is Mark Martin, who's going for his 3rd win of the weekend. He won the IROC race yesterday, and he also won the Busch Grand National race. Jerry?
Obviously, Bill Elliott is having a struggling trying to hang on to the race car. He radioed to the pits a moment ago, and Mike Beam, the crew chief, jumped down off his perch on the pit box, has jumped up on the pit wall with a ratchet wrench in his right hand. A lot of these drivers now beginning to scream a little bit about the cars getting very, very loose.
Here's Bill Elliott's serial. On lap 4, he was the leader, then fell back to 2nd through the 16th lap, and then all the way back to 5th position by lap number 22.
Well, Bob, they're working. They just finished the 24th lap, so it'll be 25 when they come back around the next time. So we'll see if they do get that caution that NASCAR told them in the driver's meeting that they were expecting to throw after 25 laps, so they could check those tires out.
Rusty Wallace has moved to 3rd position. There he is behind 2nd place Sterling Marlin as Bill Elliott, or rather Dale Earnhardt continues to lead the race. Here they come down to complete lap number 25.
But the caution is not out in the flagman's hand, so they're still going on. Maybe
Darrell Waltrip wants a caution flag because he is right in front of the leader, Dale Earnhardt. They will see Waltrip and Earnhardt, so Waltrip says, please, so that caution flag save me a lap.
Jerry, what's going on?
Well, I'm not sure. Now they said the caution will come out this time, and yes, indeed, the yellow flag begins to wave. The crews were definitely wanting to see the yellow flag. So were the drivers to get a look at the right side tires. They wanted to complete 25 laps, not just begin the 25th lap. So now the yellow flag comes out, and we'll all get a look and see how those tires are wearing on the right side.
And the leader, Earnhardt, takes the caution flag, and so does the rest of the field.
And you're right, Vinny. Darrell Waltrip was happy to see that caution because he could look up in his rearview mirror and Earnhardt was bearing down on him, about to put a lap on him.
Earnhardt brings the field slowly down the back straightaway. The pace car will pick these cars up as they go in the 3rd corner. And then all the cars that are pitted on the front, the 23 cars that are pitted on the front, will go in the pits. Then the pace car will speed up and take the cars that are going to pit on the back quickly through the 1st and 2nd corner, let them get on the pits on the back straightaway, and then as he comes back around to get these other fellows, he will slow down.
Here comes Earnhardt, Marlin, and the others down pit road and have the tires checked. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Well, we're going to show you all 3 of the leaders coming down the pit and get those tires changed. The 4 car, Sterling Marlin, the 2 car, Rusty Wallace, and the 3 car. So a pair of Chevrolets and a Ford as they come down pit road at 55 miles per hour. Here is the Goodrich Chevrolet in. Likewise, Sterling Marlin, 4 on top, 2 in the middle, 3 on the bottom. So it is Chevrolet, Ford, and Chevrolet. If you're watching right side tires, now already haven't been replaced on the car number 3. Likewise, they move to the left side of the car number 4. Car number 2, Rusty Wallace is 4. Well, Rusty's out, Earnhardt is out, and they drop the car number 4 check, and it's a race back to turn 1, guys. Who's going to win?
Well, it looked like maybe Rusty Wallace was first to cross that line down there at the end of pit road, but it was close between Wallace and Earnhardt.
I'll tell you what, there was some great pit stops going on that time.
There really were.
Jeff Gordon had a good pit stop.
Yes, he did, yeah.
He had an excellent stop.
And look at the inside the car trying to make adjustments on Derek Cope's car. The man says, I'm finished, all done.
And Derek is the last to move off of pit road here on the front straightaway. And here's a race out of pit road, and it was a good one. Now, Jeff Gordon will be among the first to pull out in about the middle of your screen. There's Jeff coming out, Ernie in front of him, and then Wallace may have had contact with Ernie as they came out, but Rusty did win the battle.
And I tell you what, he and Earnhardt, Rusty and Earnhardt, it was almost a tie going across that white line.
Here's Darrell Waltrip pitted on the backstretch as he gets fresh rubber on that car. He almost was in a position to go a lap down when the caution came out for the Western Auto Chevrolet. Free shot. spot, and he pulls back out.
We see making a chassis adjustment on that 40 car. Bobby Hamilton car, they forgot something.
Whoops.
The ratchet is sticking through the rear window. Now he's going back in the pits to get the ratchet out.
He's pitted on the backstretch, so he'll come in and get that ratchet out of the car. We'll take another break and be back with more live coverage in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Joe Gibbs. You know, as an NFL coach and a NASCAR owner, I've always tried to get the best talent behind me. So when I got Nutmeg Mills together with Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett, I knew we'd have a winner. It's Nutmeg's official NASCAR collection for race fans who want to stand out from the crowd. Now, if I could just get some of these drivers behind me during the race.
Official NASCAR apparel by Nutmeg Mills. Available at fine stores everywhere.
If you're looking for a reliable place for your car or truck, I've got news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, $10 rebate on all Futura, Michelin, and Uniroyal tires in stock.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think? Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
Top Rank Boxing. Tommy Morrison's on the road back to a world championship, but unbeaten Brian Scott is looking to be the road block. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
And action.
You know, Buffalo's pretty famous for its wings, but, you know, we got some pretty good centers, too, eh?
Hey? You like the A?
Now let's do it again.
We remain under caution here at Darlington, South Carolina in the Transouth Financial 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race. The caution because of a tire check. Jerry, how was the wear in the first 25 laps?
Bob, it was excellent. Goodyear gets a very good mark for this. This is the right front tire off Dale Earnhardt's Goodwrench Chevrolet. The big concern was the inside of the right front tire, the inside 2 or 3 inches here. Now what happens is, here at Darlington, a lot of the teams are running negative camber, which means they lean the top of the tire in this way. And what Goodyear recommends is no more than 3 degrees of negative camber. Some of the teams running 4 or 4.5 degrees, which means the tire basically rides totally on the inside shoulder. And that's where we saw all the wear in practice yesterday afternoon. So a combination of excessive negative camber and low air pressure caused a problem. A lot of teams changed that this morning, and after 25 laps, we're not seeing much in the way of wear, at least here in the Goodwrench pits, back upstairs.
And Earnhardt was one of those drivers that was having some problems yesterday in practice, so it looked like they do have it corrected.
Earnhardt has been...
Yeah, they put Earnhardt in front of Rusty Wallace. They made the decision that Earnhardt did, in fact, beat Wallace to that white line at the end of pit road, and it had to be by just a matter of inches.
Wallace will be second, Ernie Irvin third, then Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rick Mast, Ken Schrader, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Brett Bodine, and Ted Musgrave. As the field once again has been given the indication that they'll get the green flag this time around, and we'll be back to racing.
Probably the big loser on that pit stop was Chuck Bowen. He was running in the top 10, and he's right behind Ted Musgrave now. He is back to the 14th position. Gordon Shepard is 15th.
Earnhardt bringing the cars down slow, gets the green flag, accelerates for off racing again.
We had 5 laps under caution for the tire check, and now we go back to competition as Jeff Gordon positions his DuPont Chevy to the inside of Elliott there into the first turn, but falls back behind him as they come down the backstretch.
Here comes Rusty Wallace on the inside of Earnhardt. Takes that spot away.
He said, well, if I didn't get it beat him out, I'll beat this thing. Get me 5 bonus points, so let's do it on the racetrack. Didn't take him long.
And Ernie Irvin, he follows Rusty Wallace.
This is the 8th time that Rusty Wallace has led here at Darlington. It's his 21st race at this grand old racetrack. He has never won here. His best finish was in 1988 in the Southern 500. Ernie Irvin now in second spot. Earnhardt back to third, Marlin fourth.
Sort of gauging by what Earnhardt, there's Kyle Petty off the tape in the mellow yellow Pontiac.
Kyle going very slowly. Now begins to pick it up a little bit.
Looks like he's picked up a little bit. He stays out on the racetrack.
Yeah. Goes in front of Greg Sachs on the backstretch.
I think he's given that maybe a pension, maybe he switched over to the backup system. I started to say that about Earnhardt. We watched Kyle Petty. He does seem to be getting back up to speed now. Judging from what he did on that first run, for the first 8 or 10 laps, he passed a couple of cars, but then he really asserted himself after that. So I don't know if his car goes better. We'll find out here in a little bit.
John Kernan has another update on tire wear. John.
Well, Bob, we've been up and down our side of pit road. We've only found one team with a problem. This is the right front off of Rick Mast. Now, with the flex wall and with the camber and the air pressure, what happens is you actually form a crack underneath and air starts seeping out. And you can see here's a bubble right here, a bubble right there. That's the first indication of trouble. We'll roll the tire back and show you what happens. After a while, it comes open like that. All of a sudden, you start seeping and leaking air, and you do have a problem. Now, this is one of the teams that yesterday during practice, even with about 4 1/4 degrees of negative camber, they did not have a tire problem with their right front yesterday. So they may have been a little bit more aggressive today with that 25-lap caution rule coming in automatically.
We will continue to follow the tire wear story throughout the afternoon. The problem is not the fact that the track is rough. It is not a rough racetrack. It is an abrasive racetrack. The compound, the surface here is so abrasive that it simply wears the tires away.
And the fact that, Bob, I think, I don't have it measured any of the tracks, but from the time you go into turn 3 and come off of turn 4, that's probably one of the longest turns in racing, especially as far as the banking is concerned. Certainly with Talladega, you have long sweeping turns, but the banking is much higher.
Look at the speed increase from tire changes there.
Yeah, boy, that's quite a bit. We'll see that all afternoon here.
Yeah, we can see as they put laps on these tires, it gets slower and slower and slower. Down to 147 miles an hour at the end of 25 laps. And at the end of 25 laps, that's what Rusty Wallace will be running. 148, 149 miles an hour maximum.
Well, I want to finish my story about this turn from 3 to 4 around there. You're not only you have centrifugal force, which is grinding rubber off the tires, but also you got the pulling force. In fact, you're going around there in almost a controlled slide. The back end of the start, so you're grinding rubber off the tires.
Brett Bodine and Ted Musgrave running close together, battling for position on the racetrack. That is for 12th spot. Musgrave moves inside in the Family Channel Ford. He started 20th and passes Brett, picks up the spot.
Yeah, looks like Brett Bodine is losing the handle a little bit on that Quaker State Ford.
You know, I said that Chuck Bowen might have been one of the big losers. Harry Gant lost quite a few positions also on that pit stop. Harry was running 10th, and he is now running in 13th position, 15th position.
Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Rusty Wallace showing the way over Ernie Irvin. Irvin began his career with the Robert Yates team during the Southern 500 here at Darlington last year, finishing in 5th spot. Now watch this, the 32 of Trickle and the 40 of Hamilton in turn 3. Boop.
Boy, that was close. That could have been a big wreck, but only the experience of a guy like Dick Trickle kept it from being a big wreck.
And Bill Elliott, our pole sitter, is dropping back. Last lap, the 24 car got by. Now Rick Masters trying to get by.
He is in 7th position, and the 40 car of Hamilton has a tire down, and there's a battle for the lead on the front stretch at the line. Irvin takes the lead.
Yellow flag is out.
Second caution.
And we can see the tire, the tread came off the 40 car as he came off the second corner. It's laying back on the racetrack, coming off the second corner.
That is the reason for the caution. Bobby Hamilton's tire has come apart.
Someone told us that Ernie just... There's the metal that the caution flag was waved for.
You wonder if Bobby Hamilton might have cut the tire when he got up with Dick Trickle there. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
That's exactly what happened as Bobby Hamilton's tire began to shred entering turn 1. Some of the sheet metal around the tire well came out on the racetrack, and that was right in front of the leaders. And both the 28 car and the 2 car saw it, but at speed, they couldn't avoid it, and both of them ran over small pieces of debris. That's one of the reasons that every crew down here wants to see their drivers come back down pit road again and get some fresh rubber. That's indeed the case. Car number 3, the Goodwrench Chevrolet in. He will get right side tires. Right behind him, the car number 11, up, as well as the car number 2 back up pit road. Left side, 28 car is in. That is Ernie Irvin. And 28 is out. The 2's out. They're still working here on Dale Earnhardt's left side tires. And Rusty Wallace will be the first one off, followed by Ernie Irvin. Then comes Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon as they head back for turn 1.
No doubt about it. Rusty was first off the pit road that time, followed by Earnhardt, and rather Irvin, and then Earnhardt out third.
And I tell you what, we've got people on the back straightaway as these cars are leaving.
Here again is the contact between Hamilton and Trickle.
That could have been bad. And maybe Hamilton cut down his right rear tire as he went by the 32 car of Dick Trickle.
Yep.
Could possibly have cut down his right rear.
In any case, the second caution of the day waves over this Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. You're tuned to live coverage of the Transouth Financial 400 here on ESPN. Back in just a moment.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up Delco starters and alternators at Western Auto's unbeatable low price. Delco, it's like buying time.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Get ready!
DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track.
DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track, has something for you every Saturday night. And it's awesome. Late model sportsman, open wheel modified, straight stocks, modified minis, your stock minis, and a limited schedule of pro figure 8. Always free parking and great food at DeSoto Speedway.
Don't miss Saturday, March 26th for DeSoto Thunder, featuring super late models and twin 50s at DeSoto Speedway.
The forest. The flyer knows the air, but no one knows who's going to win this game. The New York Rangers versus the Philadelphia Flyers, Tuesday at 7:30. NHL on ESPN2.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Dr. Jerry Punch back at Darlington Raceway for the Winston Cup Series race here. And Mayflower, the transportation van lines company, has given drivers of the rigs that haul these cars to the racetrack an opportunity to show their skills.
And last year's champion, this is him, Mike Culberson, the truck driver for the 12 car. This is down in Atlanta.
Yeah, we originally aired this during the Busch show at Atlanta. Oh, little pylon
there. He also got a very slow start, did Mike? But we can see these guys weaving back and forth, back and forth.
This, by the way, is round 2. Round 1 was held at Daytona. This is how it went at Atlanta. And the finals are going to be held here at Atlanta this fall.
Now, this is the winning run. This is a truck driver for Darrell Waltrip's Western Auto Chevrolet, Tom McCrimmon. He said he knocks over a cone, too, but he got a much faster start than did Mike and the rest of the competitors.
The finals, I should say, will be held at Atlanta in the fall. I'm sorry, at Darlington, here.
There's another place. There we see Tom McCrimmon as he goes back and forth, back and forth. Now he's back in the vehicle. He's got to back this thing, and he's going to get this thing between the cones when he backs up, Bob. It's back, and he has to do all this by looking in the mirror. I mean, I can't even drive a truck. How these guys do it is
I can't back a car this well, Benny.
That's true.
Here he comes.
And watch as he backs this thing between the cones. See, now he has to put that trailer between all that stuff and not hit anything.
No way.
That. Look at that. And we see the Mayflower officials back up. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, that's it.
Boy, great job.
The winning time, he gets a check for $1,500. He's got to get his hat or his jacket. That's right.
There it is. Congratulations, and we'll see how he fares when the contest is over this fall. We continue to run under caution. We'll take another quick break and be back with live coverage from Darlington, South Carolina.
There's something happening here. What it is exactly clear. Time to stop till what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold. Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
NASCAR fans, Sunday, April 17th is a date you want to remember. The NASCAR Race for Savings Coupon Supplement is coming directly to your newspaper. It will be jammed full of NASCAR Race for Savings coupons, sponsor products, special coupons, limited edition collector's gifts, and much more. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings coupons can be found in the coupon supplement section of your newspaper. It will happen only one time this year, so don't miss out. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings is headed directly to you.
We've won 3/4 of a lap under green. It is still Rusty Wallace showing the way. And Urban and Dale Earnhardt.
Mark's had a few laps during the caution period there.
Looks like Ernie Irvin and Rusty Wallace, these cars are so even. If they both run 500 miles, it's going to be who gets out of the pits quickest and who makes that last chassis adjustment the best.
Irvin going for 3 in a row. Here's Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon with Sterling Marlin, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Tell you what, Jeff Gordon getting a little racy on him.
His car's running good today. He's had good pit stops.
Here's an Autolite field summary showing you how the cars were running last time by.
Did you know that Jeff Gordon, they've named their crew as well? You know, we got the Flying Aces with Earnhardt. We've got the Fabulous T-Birds with Jeff Burton. Well, there's a Schrader trying to get by the 12 car, Chuck Bound.
Schrader was the big loser on the pit stops. He went in 9th place, came out in 15th. Now he's about to lose that position. Maybe not. He's going to stay up there, I guess, that he just took away. Moved him to 14th.
Yes, you're right, Benny. They have named themselves the Rainbow Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors. That playing off the rainbow on the hood of the car, the DuPont colors.
This is Jeff's 3rd start here at Darlington. His best finish was 22nd last September here, so he's certainly looking to improve on that. And he's run much better than that 22nd position shows.
Only one car is not on the lead lap, so 40 remain on the lead lap. The 52 car of Brad Teague is 2 laps down.
Napa Auto Parts car that's owned by Jimmy Means. Ooh, whoa, can't do that, guys. Can't go into this turn 3 abreast. Wally Dallenbach knew that was not the smart thing to do.
There's Nemechek going by Jeff Bodine, and Bodine had a great qualifying run. He's staying back up. Jerry Punch, what's his problem?
Benny, they're having trouble with the car being so doggone loose you just can't drive it. Paul Andrews said, our number one concern is safety. We don't want to lose a driver or a race car. We have tried a lot of different things, including putting a rubber in the left rear to try to even up the spring rates, but the car just is not able to go in the corner and stick. So Bodine, who started 7th, is now languishing back around 20th or 21st spot.
Yeah, he just lost the 20th position. He's in 21st right now. Behind him is Wally Dallenbach, Jimmy Hensley, Steve Grissom, Michael Waltrip, and Ward Burton.
Ooh, boy, they're getting close there. It's Ward Burton coming down on the inside of Michael Waltrip. Ward in the Hardy's car. They almost bumped the farm there, as they say.
That put Ward in 30th position and Michael Waltrip back to 31st. Steve Grissom, one of the rookie candidates.
Steve lost his crew chief this week and team manager, Eddie Jones and Mark Reno. Eddie was the team manager and Mark Reno was the crew chief, and they resigned. And Gordon Gibbs.
Gordon Gibbs is calling the shots down the pitch today.
John Kernan has more on the Wally Dallenbach run, and currently he's 26th.
Well, Bob, you have to take small steps at a time, and you know it really is good to see that number 43 STP Pontiac back out there. I was talking with Wally this morning. You know, they have missed the last couple of races. They haven't been able to get in through qualifying. The King, even a couple of weeks ago at Atlanta, said he was going to take more of an interest and do a little more work back in the shop, and it seems to have started them on the uphill climb. They're getting closer to the top of the hill. Wally, in fact, says he believes they have found something that they were missing before, so they're expecting to be at every race from here on out. But it really is good to see that race car back on the racetrack.
Benny, if there was any driver who had a lot of weight on his shoulders in qualifying on Friday, it was Wally Dallenbach.
It was Wally Dallenbach, and did qualify that well, 37th, but he's in the race. Now the pressure really goes to Bristol. Our next race, there are only 34 cars.
And that's up from 32.
That is correct. They have increased the starting fields at Bristol, Norfolk, Pearl, and Martinsville because of the large number of entries that NASCAR is getting for these NASCAR Winston Cup races. So 34 start the next 3 events, and we will, by the way, have live coverage of all 3.
Michael Walker falling back from that group. The Pennzoil Pontiac.
He's 29th.
Who knows how close they're running together and has seen a little rubbing going on up there. He might drop back far enough to miss the wreck in case it happens. And I'm not saying these guys can have a wreck, but they've certainly been racing hard.
Steve Grissom looks to the inside of Hensley. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Rusty Wallace, followed closely by Irvin and Earnhardt.
Earnhardt is caught. Ernie Irvin looked to me like a moment ago. Irvin and Wallace going to pull away, but here comes Earnhardt, right closing up on the back bumper of Ernie Irvin, and is going to try to pass him down the back straightaway. He's not going to try. He's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Yeah, he's got to run.
And look at Jeff Gordon. Oh, he braked going into the corner, thinking better of it. It's probably wisely.
Yeah, if he'd gone in there that hard, he'd have slid right up in there. He had too much speed to go in down the inside.
And now Sterling Marlin begins to close in on Jeff Gordon. Sterling running 5th. Ernie trying to get Earnhardt back. Doesn't have the momentum off the corner. Dale Earnhardt started 9th. He led at one point, currently in 2nd position. The lowest he has been in the scoring is 9th. He led 10 laps.
Again, it just looks like after they run 8 or 10 laps under green, his car really gets going.
Yes, it does, Dan. It looks like that Wallace and Irvin. Ever see Brett Bodine trying to get back by Rick Mast?
That's for 9th. Brett passes Rick, and so Brett moves to 9th.
Well, most of the passing we've seen as far as Brett's concerned were people passing him, so they've worked on that Quaker State Ford, got him a little bit better.
And Harry Gant and Ted Musgrave are now closing in on Rick Mast.
And Terry Lamont right behind Musgrave. There we see him in that yellow and white-red car.
That put Rick Mast back to 10th, so Gant's at 11th, Musgrave 12th. Terry Labonte
is right there behind Ted Musgrave. Chuck Bound, Bobby Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd dueling for position. Oh, Bound a little sideways.
Oh, very sideways.
Labonte crashes all 3 of those cars.
Labonte hits the inside wall very hard. Morgan Shepherd hit the outside wall. He is
lot of
narrowed that Citgo forward up some.
Boy, we got in on the ground floor of that thing, didn't we?
Oh, man. Hate to see that.
Sure as the world do.
Bobby Labonte had a great run going to the end at Maxwell House Pontiac.
Well, he has the car moving, but it's going in the
way.
wrong direction, and it isn't.
Bobby, turn around.
It isn't going exactly where he wants it to go. Now he's
trying to go pitch.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
Labonte suffering damage on the right front. He's got some major damage. Here we go. Let's see what happened here.
We see Chuck Bound, and it looks like that his car just got high, and he couldn't get it down, and Bobby Labonte tries to go under him, and he gets sideways and just gets touched in the right rear by the 12 car. And meanwhile, Morgan's trying to dodge them all. He runs in the outside wall.
Yeah, Morgan shot up. He thought he had room on the outside. That was really his only alternative, and he got pinned into the wall. So there is right side damage to the Citgo Ford. And you see Morgan coming in now. The right front tire has already gone flat, and there's damage to the left front. You can see there as well.
And I think Morgan's going to the garage, is he? Yes.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh, yes, he is. You're right. Or at least behind him. Yep.
Here's all the cars coming down pit road. Caution flag is out. So they'll all come in, change tires.
This is our third caution of the day. Wallace finds his spot. And there's Jerry.
And we're going to let you watch all three of them pit once again. A major chassis adjustment on the right side of the 2 car. He will get all 4 tires. Likewise, right side tires going on the car number 28, the Haviland Ford of Ernie Irvin. They are also going to make an adjustment on the right rear of Ernie Irvin's car. Here's the car number 2. He's down on the late left side tires on the car number 3. Who will win the race back to turn 1? It will be Rusty Wallace. Then comes Earnhardt, and looks like possibly Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett race to turn 1.
Very, very fast pit stops during that session. Some less than 18 seconds.
Wow, Dale Jarrett went in 8th place and came out about 3rd.
Look at this. A lot of activity now on the back pits. Here comes Rudd out along with Jimmy Spencer, Kyle Petty, Nemechek, Labonte. And there is
Greg Sachs, Darrell Walter, dialing back, almost had a crash with Steve Grissom.
And then almost hit Bobby Hamilton.
All the good cars pitting on the backstretch. In fact, there were some cars that broke the track record in qualifying pitting on the backstretch.
26 cars broke the track record on qualifying Friday, and only 23 spots, pit spots on the front. 3 of those guys, Ricky Rudd, Dave Marcus, and Terry Labonte, had to pit on the back straightaway, even though they broke the track record.
Jerry has a rundown on what we just saw.
They're keeping a running total here in the pits of what each team does on their pit stops. Rusty Wallace's last pit stop at lap 42 when he beat everyone down pit road. It looked like he was the only one that was going to be back in turn 1 all alone. His stop was 16.81 seconds. This most recent pit stop, they were a little bit slower, guys. They must have taken a deep breath in between changing tires. They were 17.9 seconds, almost a second and 10 slower, but still, the result was the same.
Excellent work on pit road. Here's the pit stop summary. Rusty stayed the same. So did Earnhardt. Irvin from 3rd to 10th. Gordon lost 4 positions, and Sterling Marlin lost 1.
And Dale Jarrett went from 8th to 3rd. A great pit stop by the Interstate Battery Group.
The 3rd caution was brought out because of this. That's Bobby Labonte and Chuck Bound. Gathering up Morgan Shepherd. Bobby Labonte got the worst end of the deal. His car made head-on contact with the inside wall off of turn number 4. They continued to work on it. Back with more live coverage in just a moment of the Transouth Financial 400.
Considering that a new car is one of the biggest purchases you make, of course it makes sense to get the best deal. Well, that's why at Jim Bowes Dodge VW, we believe you shouldn't have to go out of town to buy your next vehicle. In fact, you shouldn't have to go out of your way at all. Right here in Bradenton, Jim Bowes offers a supermarket selection of new cars, trucks, minivans, and conversion vans at the best prices in 3 counties. So why would you spend more time and money than you have to when everything you're looking for is here?
Beautiful, bubbly, bouncing babies. It's what we're all about. Birth care. HCA L.W. Blake Hospital. Our family caring for yours. Our team is known for winning hearts. The Heart Institute, HCA L.W. Blake Hospital. Our family caring for yours.
Tommy Morrison's on the road back to a world championship, but unbeaten Brian Scott is looking to be the road block. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
I was just talking to Liz and Michael, and they say they're gonna watch. Yeah, it's gonna be big. Everyone's gonna be there. You should come too.
The Transouth Financial 400 on ESPN Speed World from Darlington, South Carolina. This is why we are under caution. Chuck Bound, Bobby Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd.
Boy, look at Jimmy Spencer come through there.
Just barely. Now watch and listen from the in-car of Morgan Shepherd. Jeff Gordon has fallen back in the scoring. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Bob, the Rainbow Warriors had to do a little bit extra dance. They had to use a strap because on the left side of the car, the tailpipe had come loose and it was starting to hang down. So it took a little extra time after they got the left side tires changed to take this strap and to secure the tailpipe. They lost, what, 4 spots in the pits? What is it? It only took them about extra 2 seconds to do that. That's how competitive it is down here on pit road.
Yep, he went from 4th and will now restart in 8th position.
Another driver who had a good pit stop was Harry Gant. He's up in the 5th position. He went in about 11th, I think.
Green flag is out after 5 laps for that caution period.
And Ernie Irvin wasted no time in trying to get by Ted Money.
Martin is also trying to move up.
And he's trying to get by Gordon. Here comes Ernie. They're side by side.
Wow, look at that car stick.
Man. And Muskrat's going to try Gordon on the inside.
Gordon had to back off just a little bit when Irvin got on the inside of him. Now he's trying to get back in that groove.
Oh, Rudd gets in the wall.
Boy, he
second
does.
corner.
He really got high off that turn. I think he did get a piece of the wall. There he is going into turn 3. He wants to feel that thing out going into the turn, not knowing he did damage or pushed the fender in against the tire.
Now Mark Martin shoots to the inside of Musgrave.
Trying to pass his teammate, and his teammate says, okay, go ahead. You can have the inside.
That's for 10th position. They're side by side coming off the corner. Rick Mast watching and following Mark past Musgrave.
Musgrave says, why not let him go by? Now look what happened to him.
Lost 2 spots, not just 1. Kenny Schrader now will try to pick up a spot from Ted Musgrave. Boy, an interesting day last Wednesday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when Ken Schrader announced that he would enter a car in the Brickyard 400 for Gary Battenhausen. And Schrader got into Gary's Indy car for a couple of laps, as you see the average speed of the race. And it was funny, Kenny brought the car into the pit area after a couple of laps, one at 163 and one above 180. He looked up at John Menard, the car owner, and says, okay, now you can breathe and so can I.
Mark Martin, Rick Mast, Ted Musgrave, Kenny Schrader. Trying to get back to the front. Right now, Mark Martin in 10th spot. That's 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. We're seeing on the screen. Back to the lead. Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett is trying to work on Dale Earnhardt right behind for 2nd spot.
Jarrett's having a strong run here today. And John Kernan is with Morgan Shepherd.
Well, Morgan, it looks like you all were going to have a good run today. I know Eddie and the guys were really pleased with the race car, but when something happens in front of you, it's kind of hard to avoid it, isn't it?
Well, it just hadn't been a good week for us at Darlington, I reckon. First in the Busch car, and
now in the Winston Cup car. And I told Eddie and the guys, I said, the car is so good, I'm going to sit here and take care of the tires, and we'll wait and see how things go, and I'll just keep everybody in sight and then go. And I was sitting there riding, and the two cars in front of me got together, and I was just a victim of circumstances.
Now they're working underneath the rear of the car. They can be able to get it fixed and get it back out.
Well, they'll get it well to roll around the racetrack. I don't know how good. The car pretty much hit the wall pretty hard on the right side, knocked the rear end over, and knocked all the suspension out beneath the front.
Well, these guys will continue to work, but I tell you, they made a lot of friends on pit road after they pulled into the garage area. Everybody wanted to come and buy their tires from them.
The bidding war is going on. Morgan Shepherd, fourth going into this event in the point standings, only 132 behind Ernie Irvin, the leader, so it's going to be a bad situation regarding points for Morgan this weekend.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt passes Rusty Wallace. Here comes Ernie Irvin. Nope, can't make the move on Marlin.
Took a look. Was not able to get alongside.
Earnhardt has won 7 of the last 16 races here at Darlington. A 44% win average. Almost a win every other race.
Wow. That is unbelievable on a track this tough. This shows how good that team is and how good he is.
This is also the 4th time that Dale has led an event in 1994. Irvin continuing to work on Marlin.
Trying to get by.
Okay, while we're watching Ernie here, I can give you this statistic. In the last 20 seasons, only one driver has equaled Ernie Irvin's 2.25 average finish for the first 4 races of any particular year. Who was the other driver?
Yeah, Yarber.
Benny Parsons in 1978, who finished 2nd, 3rd, 1st, and 3rd in his first 4 races.
Really?
How about that? That's amazing. Here's Bill Elliott and Harry Gant.
Gant's trying to get by Bill. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett's hanging around the back bumper of Rusty Wallace. Here comes Harry on the inside. Tries to get by Elliott. Meanwhile, Ernie's trying to get alongside Sterling Marlin. Might have him going down to turn 1.
Yes, I think he does this time. Good side-by-side battle here.
But Sterling gets the momentum off the corner. Ernie may not have the pass made. This time
now he does. Yeah. And here comes Brett Bodine passing Marlin.
Sterling had no alternative but just to back off a little bit and let him go. And here's Rusty working on Earnhardt again. Back up front.
Very competitive race underway here. Good battle back there for 4th also between Gant and Elliott.
Gant took a look, coming off the 2nd corner, couldn't get by.
We talked about great starts. Harry Gant is under his worst start of his career for the first 4 races. His average finish in the first 4, 34th. He wants to turn that around here this weekend.
He's had a lot of success here at Darlington. He loves to drive this racetrack.
He has won 4 races here at this track, 2 times in the spring and 2 times at the Southern 500.
You know, and the strange thing is, while he and Bill Elliott are racing like this, the leaders are not getting away from them.
Yep. Here's Gant's progression. Started 21st, then 16th at the end of 30 laps, moved to 11th at the end of 52, and by the 76th lap, he is in where he is currently running, 5th. Dale Earnhardt leading Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett. As we have completed 80 laps of the Transouth Financial 400, Bobby Labonte looking over the work on his car after a crash. We'll talk with him when we return to Darlington.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
Keep America running.
They hate to be late. Traffic makes them mad. And waiting makes them furious. Sound familiar? Then drive through McDonald's for breakfast. It's fresh, hot, delicious, and served at top speed so you can get back in the race.
Mess with me.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, there's an X. Killing those grungy fungi before they get racket and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desonex.
And action.
You know, Buffalo's pretty famous for its wings, but, you know, we got some pretty good centers, too, eh?
A? You like the A?
Now let's do it again. Rejoin us here at Darlington. We have a new leader. Rusty Wallace has taken over the top spot from Dale Earnhardt as Dale Jarrett, who started in 14th position, continues to run a very strong third. Rusty Wallace back up front.
There again, was able to get by Bill Elliott finally to take over the 4th spot.
In fact, Elliott's about to lose the 5th spot as Ernie Irvin comes up on him.
And there was a close call for Nemechek and Todd Bodine a couple of laps ago. Oh! Wow. Bodine is totally sideways and saved it coming off corner 2.
And we see John Andretti going slowly down the back straightaway as we watch the 1st, 2nd, 3rd car. There he is.
Billy Hagan team picking up some Total Petroleum sponsorship along with the financial world, but Andretti is headed for the pit area. After a very strong qualifying performance last Friday, clocking in for 18th position. We promised you a conversation with Bobby Labonte. Here it is, John.
Thank you, Bob. Bobby, they're doing a lot of work on your race car. What happened out there on the racetrack?
Well, I tore it up pretty good. Reason why. Trying to get by the 12 car, but I guess I didn't have him quite cleared. Got into him a little bit and got in the fence. Just a shame for the Maxwell's Pontiac. We were running pretty good out there today, I think. So it's a new car. We'll get it back together and go get them at... where we go? Bristol. Bristol, that's right, Bristol. So I got to go somewhere else next weekend. So, but anyway, we'll try to get him at Bristol. It's just one of them deals.
Well, they got a lot of work to do, and whenever we were going to break, guys, you saw Bobby bending down. He was actually pumping a small jack that they were using to push the rear clip back out because he had backed it into the wall. Really knocked down the clip. Just another one of those little innovations they have here in the garage area.
If he cannot get back on the racetrack, and if he is not running at the finish of this race, it'll be the first time in the last 19 that the Maxwell House Pontiac has not been running at the conclusion of a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
As we watch Ernie Irvin,
just got around Bill Elliott a little bit ago. Now Bill following him. They'll drop back to 6th. Ernie's moved up to 5th.
I'll tell you that John Andretti is back on the racetrack. That is, here comes Brett Bodine, the Quaker State car, trying to get by Elliott. Can't make it.
John Kernan can tell us what brought John Andretti into the pits. John, what happened?
Well, Bobby apparently got up against someone while he was out there on the racetrack and knocked a fender in on the tire. So one of the spotters apparently alertly caught that and told him about it because you don't want to blow out a tire right here. So they came into the pits for 4 tires and pulled the fender off of the tire to keep it from rubbing.
It has cost him 2 laps, however. He is 2 laps down in 38th position. Let's check the speeds here, Benny.
Well,
173, back off.
Yeah, well, they didn't get a very good run that time. They run across a slow car up in the 3rd corner, and right beside the Bill Elliott right now is Mark Martin. We'll be seeing a white number 6 car in just no. The 6 car had to back off the gas as he came off the 2nd corner. He was alongside Bill Elliott as he came off the corner. Get underneath the 11 car this time, I guess. We'll try the 11 car one more time with the telemetry and see. They'll probably run a little bit slower down the back straightaway than they do the front. 165 is all we saw that time, but he was not all the way to the corner. Morgan Shepherd crashed a little bit ago, about right here, so he was running about 150 miles an hour when he ran to the outside wall. That's why it did so much damage.
Yep. Martin again looking to the inside of Elliott into one. Continues to run a lower line through the corner. Now moving alongside Bill. Nope, has to drop back behind him.
Well, they have the best test of the tires going today. They've run the longest under this green flag run, I believe.
And we have a new leader.
Earnhardt's
back in front.
It looks like the way he passed it, he caught Rusty a little bit of a surprise.
He'd been working on him for a couple of laps, being as we was watching that other action there, and finally slipped under him.
Boy, Dale Jarrett needs a good finish here. He's been off to a very disappointing start, but is back in his old form of 93. Here is Earnhardt, and this is the way that he got.
Just comes alongside Rusty Wallace.
Yep. Got a great run coming off the turn and just slipped right under him.
So that's how Dale got the lead from Rusty. 36 cars are on the lead lap. The 17 car of Darrell Waltrip is the last car on the lead lap.
And he's about 200 yards in front of Dale Earnhardt, so he's in danger of going a lap down. As we widen out there, you can see Darrell coming off of turn 4 and Earnhardt coming up on him. Rusty working on Earnhardt again. He wants to back out front.
You know, Darrell Waltrip was about to be lapped in Atlanta and went in, made some adjustments, and finished, what, third in the race?
That's right.
So
never counted. Good battle up front for the top position between Earnhardt and Wallace.
Meanwhile, back behind him, Ernie Irvin has passed Harry Gant for the 4th position.
I'll tell you what, this trio has put some distance on the 4th place car of Ernie Irvin.
Yeah, they pulled away pretty good.
Looks like Sterling Marlin is headed for pit road. The Kodak Film Chevrolet.
Right front tires flat, looks to me like.
Well, we said this was the strongest test they've had on the tires today. They've run the longest under green
Yes,
this
sir.
time.
You can see the right front tires flat on that car.
Sure is. And the crew goes to work. Jerry is there.
Unscheduled pit stop, obviously, for Sterling Marlin and the Kodak Chevrolet. Crew are going to make an adjustment if they had time. Yes, they will make an adjustment in the left rear, about around and a half. Wallace going by, taking the lead over the Conor McQueen and Dale Earnhardt. And here's Earnhardt back on the inside. They are side by side. Sterling Marlin is down and away after 4 tires, and they are still battling up front for the lead.
They sure are. They are going at it big time. Earnhardt inside of Wallace in turn 3.
He slides up. Now Rusty's going to try to come back. Earnhardt tried to block him, but he said no. Rusty said, no, I'm going to have the lead. Boy, this is great racing.
And look at the fans. They're loving it. And here comes Harry Gant in for a pit stop.
Jimmy Hensley is in the pits as well.
Gant relinquishing the 6th position to come in for a tire change. Brings the Skoal Bandit to a stop.
And Dale Jarrett slows up. I believe he's about to hit into the pits as well. Yep.
Jimmy Hensley has his work completed as we see the work continuing on Harry Gant. Hensley is rolling again. 20.6 seconds for Harry Gant. And Dale Jarrett is coming in. 3rd place car on pit road, keeping it under 55 miles an hour as he stops the interstate battery and starts to work.
You see that guy cleaning the grill off? A lot of rubber gets up here. They have overheating problems on this track a lot of times. More in September than they have here in the spring race. But all that rubber coming off of those tires.
He also had a right front tire flat on that interstate battery.
A little trouble getting going because Cope was right ahead of him. Here is Sherry Punch.
We told you the problem, the concern was the inside margin, the inside shoulder of the right front tire. That's exactly where Sterling Marlin's problem occurred. The inside 2 inches of the tire began to bubble. You see here, now the tread completely sheared away. Some of the cord here being exposed. Sterling very, very fortunate he made the stop when he did. This tire probably would not have run one more lap. As pit stops continue, the car number 1 of Rick Mass makes his way down pit road. We'll probably see a lot of guys begin to come toward the pits now after running down and seeing what happened with the right front tire on the 4 car. Let's go to John Curtin.
Jerry, it was 4 tires, and they also tried to tighten up Rick Mass cars. They made a chassis adjustment and sent him on his way. They did a pretty good pit stop.
They got about 38 laps on their tires. They were last in on 63 when Jarrett and Marlin and the others came in, so about 38 laps. Here is Rusty Wallace, now the leader of the race.
And is pulled away from Dale Earnhardt quite a bit, Bob, and wonder if Earnhardt maybe is having a problem. He might be just staying out there.
No, Earnhardt's got a flat tire as well. He'll be in the next lap. Derek Cope just went by the 3 car, and Dale Earnhardt will come in the next time.
Here comes Jeff Gordon into the pits.
Earnhardt slows down in turn 3.
Well, as I said, that he keeps going. I thought he'd slowed down, but...
Here's John Kernan with Jeff Gordon's pit stop.
The crew all ready to work on the right side. They'll swing around to the left side. They will make a chassis adjustment in the right rear as the car was loose getting out of turn 2. A lot of rubber buildup on the grill. However, they did get that pretty well cleaned off. Now they had a problem with the jack bell. The car sitting on the jack bell before they could get the tires in. The back up as he walks in the right valuable time. On pit road, Jeff drops the clutch, guns it down as he heads toward turn 1.
And on the racetrack, we have Brett Bodine, who got into the wall. He didn't stop or anything. He scraped along it for quite a distance. Now has it going again. No caution.
I think he has a flat tire, too. Jeff Burton into the pits on the Ray Vestas Ford.
So Jeff Gordon lost valuable track positioning there when that car fell off the jack. Brett Bodine brings the Quaker State Ford off the corner number 4 and into the pit area, and his right front is looking pretty bad. John Kernan will call this stop as Brett gets going.
Brett Bodine stops it, hits his march perfectly. They'll go to work on the right side. It'll be a 4-tire change. Once again, we'll see a chassis adjustment. As you can see, that right front tire has started to shred. Brett could not stay out any longer, had to come in, otherwise he could have been in big trouble. They'll make the chassis adjustment on the right rear. Left side tires now going on, and Brett 19.1 seconds, a good stop.
Yes, indeed. He was running in 6th when he came in.
Looks like Rusty is coming into the pits. I'll tell you, if this thing goes green, Dale Jarrett's going to have a huge lead after everybody else makes their pit stop, because he's running about 2 seconds a lap faster. Those that come in and get the fresh tires pick up about 2 seconds a lap. Rusty's coming towards you, Jerry.
Yes, he is, and for 2 reasons. Number 1, he wants to change tires. Number 2, his spotter said your grill is full of debris. So watch Buddy Parrott with a wire brush go over and begin to rake the front grill. He has now cleaned the grill and will change all 4 tires. Remember, the big problem here is these tires get abraded so much rubber fills up the grill and the car will overheat. 10.5, but the catch cam is stuck in the back of the car. Now Rusty backs it up to his pits. They will take the catch cam, and also the left side lug nuts were off the car, so Rusty now has to back up into his pit. The left front and left rear lug nuts. The crew cam, as you're watching now, you see Brad Parrott. They now put lug nuts on, and he is away. They've taken the right side tires, and here's the car number 11 down pit road. And the 3 in. Earnhardt make a chassis adjustment on the car number 11. Tires going on both the 3 and the 11 cars. Chevrolet, Ford, Earnhardt, and Elliott. Everyone trying to come in, guys, and take a look at the tire wear, and more importantly, maybe clean that front grill.
Earnhardt is away, and now Elliott begins to move also at a very uncharacteristic pit stop for Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, very rare that you see them have the problems that they had there. Uncharacteristic, you're right, of that team.
And the pit stops continue as Ken Schrader is in, and so is Hunt Strickland. We're bringing you live coverage from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, and we'll be right back.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah. Kellogg's Corn Flakes? How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
If every company in America switched to MCI, American business would save over $1 billion a year. That's a lot of fax machines.
If you're looking for a reliable place for your car or truck, I've got news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, $10 rebate on all Futura, Michelin, and Uniroyal tires in stock.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina for ESPN's live coverage of the Transouth Financial 400. The leader of the race is the 77 car of Greg Sachs, but he has not pitted.
He don't act like a leader.
They're running right by us, yeah. Boy, those newer tires really make a big difference.
When he does come in, it'll be Dale Jarrett who picks up the lead, followed by Harry Gant, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Earnhardt. Here's Hut Strickland passing the leader. Sachs is on those old tires.
And right behind him, there we see he's slowing down. Looks like he may be going to the pits this time. Yes, he is.
So that puts Dale Jarrett in front.
That's correct.
And Chuck Bowen on the inside of Jarrett going up into turn 3 as we watch Greg Sachs in the U.S. Air Jasper Engines car make his way to the pits.
And that was the first time that Greg has led in 1994. There is Rusty Wallace, and look at the difference in the speed. Before the change, 146.7. After the change, 157.6. Almost 11 miles an hour. Here's Jerry Punch with another report on the tires.
Guys, about 11 o'clock this morning, Goodyear sold the last tire they had brought here to Darlington, meaning most of the teams who needed more tires couldn't get them, so they had to make a separate plan. What happens if you run out of tires, you still have 100 miles to go? Well, that's where you make a deal. And Let's Make a Deal began this morning about 10 o'clock. This is Ernie Irvin's tire recovery plan. This is the pit map here. This is where Ernie is pitting right here in the 28 car. The red marks are crews that have agreed to give Ernie's team their tires if they have trouble. Take a look here. Morgan Shepherd, Brett Bodine, Chuck Bound. Over here, Rich Bickle's car, the 90 car of Mike Wallace. These teams have struck a deal with the 28 team. If they fall out and they can no longer use their tires, they will commit them solely to this car, number 28.
Was Monty Hall down there in the pits, Jerry, this morning?
Boy, they were making deals everywhere, Bob, and it happens every week here. You know, Goodyear brought more than the minimum required number of tires, 800 left side and 800 right side. They knew that Darlington is very tough. It's very abrasive, as you said, on the rubber here. But many teams have 10 or 11 sets, and thus far, 10 sets might not get it done here at 293 laps.
That's for sure. Dale Jarrett in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet is the leader of the Transouth Financial 400. He started 14th, quickly moved up to 3rd position by the 65th lap, then dropped back to 6th on lap 98 and is in the lead as we now complete lap 114. And there is Earnhardt going to 2nd.
Gets by Harry Gant, comes. Now Earnhardt stopped later than Gant and Dale Jarrett, so his car will be a little bit faster than those two cars right now.
Yeah, I think he'll run Dale Jarrett down. He's probably about 3 seconds behind Jarrett right now, but he should run him down because of those fresher tires. In fact, he's only 2.2 seconds behind Jarrett.
There are 28 cars on the lead lap now as a result of the pit stops that we have just seen. 28 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is Joe Nemechek.
And Nemechek just passed our leader, Dale Jarrett, a couple of laps ago to get back in the lead lap.
Yep, he came out of the pits with fresh tires and right around him, and so did Steve Grissom.
There's the interval between 2nd and 3rd, and the leader, Jarrett.
This is the 3rd race that Jarrett has led this year.
And Rusty Wallace is trying to make up on the racetrack what he lost in the pit area. Here he is just driving the wheels off the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. He had a bad pit stop. The gas can got locked, and the left side lug nuts were taken off. He had to back the car up. They had to get the lug nuts tightened, and it cost him dearly on the track. Here's the Autolite field summary. Watch for your favorite driver and how they were running just a lap ago.
Rusty Wallace is a little over 13 seconds behind the leader, Dale Jarrett.
77 car of Sachs and the 16 of Ted Musgrave running very close together out there.
Did we say that Morgan Shepherd had gotten back in the field?
No, we didn't, but you may.
Forward? He is back in there now. He's 50 laps behind, but he's back out there.
There he is, shown in 40th spot. And Bobby Labonte remains in the garage area as they continue to work on that, and he's 54 laps down.
Greg Sachs hanging pretty good with Rusty Wallace, Ted Musgrave. Sachs had a great run over the Atlanta.
Sachs is 33rd, a lap down. And the 16 of Ted Musgrave is 10th, so those cars are not battling for position. And Rick Mast comes in for another stop. This an unscheduled stop for Rick.
Yeah, he was just in a few laps ago.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was one of those early ones that made a pit stop, but this is probably earlier than he had planned to come back in.
Maybe those new tires felt so good he'd stop and get some more there.
I'm sure they did.
Here's Jerry right there.
And indeed they are just doing that, Benny Parsons. Right side tires only for Rick Mast. Left side tires aren't showing much in the way of wear, but the right sides have been abused. We might mention the 3 car of Earnhardt when he made his last pit stop. His right front had begun to separate. So we've seen him have right front trouble. The car number 4 have right front trouble. Remember, Dale Jarrett had a right rear go down as Earnhardt makes the pass and makes his move.
Yes, Dale Earnhardt is back in the lead as Dale Jarrett now goes to second. You'll recall that last year in this race, the winner was Dale Earnhardt. It was the first time that he had won in '93, and he won 6 during the season. A reminder that at 5 o'clock this afternoon, following our race, we will have a shop talk for you, and the featured driver is Dale Earnhardt. You'll want to watch at 5 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon, right after our coverage of the Transouth Financial 400. With currently being led by Earnhardt. Jarrett is second, followed by Harry Gant, Sterling Marlin, and Bill Elliott. We'll be right back.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
The winningest active driver at Darlington, Dale Earnhardt, is the leader of this race. He has 8 victories on this track, 5 in the spring race and 3 in the Southern 500. He leads over Dale Jarrett by a little less than 2 seconds as Harry Gant runs third, 3.7 seconds behind. Then Irvin at 6.75, and Bill Elliott is a little over 7 seconds behind in 5th position.
And right now, Earnhardt is, there we see John Andretti coming in the pits. He got in the fence up in between 3 and 4, just a little, right in front of Earnhardt. We see Earnhardt back there. And now Andretti goes up, gets up high. hits the fence, comes off the fence, gets it sideways, goes back up, hits the fence again.
But he kept it up there, and no other car was involved. And here's John Kernan in John's pit.
Well, Bob, they've already changed right side tires. Left side's going on. Usually, you see someone get up against the wall, you always have to look to see if they knocked the rear end over. It looks like it's okay. They dropped the jack, and he got his engine heads down pit road. It doesn't look like it was too badly damaged. Perhaps some of the sheet metal pushed in on the tires.
John Andretti comes back out as the leaders go by him. There is Earnhardt, who, by the way, has 8 laps fresher tires than Dale Jarrett does. And that's one of the reasons why he was able to catch Dale so quickly.
Well, we understand that Jimmy Maycar, who's the crew chief on Jarrett's Interstate Batteries car, had got a little concerned about the tires and had Jarrett to back off just a little bit also.
Here's the battle for 5th position. You just saw Jeff Burton being lapped by Earnhardt. He was 24th, so there were 23 cars now on the lead lap. Terry Labonte started 24th, is already up to 6th position, and Gant may be coming in, we understand.
Well, he was one of the early ones that pitted the last time around on the green flag pit stops.
Labonte and Elliott going at it for 5th position. And is slowing.
Oh, Elliott.
Yeah.
Car getting a little out of shape as he came off that second corner, and Terry Labonte goes right by.
Labonte goes to 5th. Elliott, the pole sitter, eligible for $76,000 in Utica bonus money, back to 6th.
Here comes Rusty Wallace. Boy, is he making a move towards the front.
And Gant is coming in. John is there.
Well, he said here again was one of the earliest ones to come and pit earlier. It also looks like he got into somebody in the left rear. Looks like possibly the sheet metal might be rubbing against that tire. The right side tire's going on. Swing around with the jack on the left side. After this set of sticker Goodyear Racing tires, they will have 4 sticker sets left here in the pit area. Harry sitting, waiting. 19.8 seconds. Harry Gant heads down toward turn 1. And also, let me update about John Andretti. They've checked it out. They did knock the toe out, so that's why he is back on pit road, and they are fixing that.
They've got the hood up on the Total Petroleum Chevy. John Andretti does sit there as they try to get the problem corrected as Harry Gant moves back out onto the racetrack and gathers up some speed.
And Rusty Wallace just passed Bill Elliott for the 5th spot. And there he's going by Terry Labonte for the 4th spot.
Man, he is moving, isn't he?
He is moving. He's gaining on Earnhardt. Of course, there's some Bill Elliott's cars. He's looking at Terry Labonte.
I'm about to tell you how much he's down. Right now, he's 9 6/10 seconds behind Earnhardt. The last time we clocked him, he was 13 seconds behind.
So he gained 4 seconds on Earnhardt.
Here's the telemetry on Bill Elliott.
Coming off the 4th corner, down the front straightaway, accelerating. 166, 71, 2, 5, 7, 176 miles an hour was the top speed I saw.
I believe you're right. Down to 123 before hitting the accelerator once again. And Wally Dallenbach is slow on the racetrack on the front stretch.
Sterling Marlin in the pits again, and Kodak Film Chevrolet. He was the first of the front runners to come in a little while ago, so he's back in again. Jerry Funk, you down in that area?
Yes, we are, Ned. He pitted on lap 95. As you said, he was the very first one to come in, and we showed you how bad his right front tire looked at lap 95. I'm not taking any chances with the man who won the 1994 Daytona 500. All 4 tires, he is out and away less than 20 seconds, but they're not taking any chances at all. They roll that right front tire off, and unfortunately, it looks worse than the one that came off a minute ago. Take a look at the tire here as they roll it by. Absolute rubber completely. Look at the cords here. Inside of the tire. Actually, this is the outside edge of the tire, so maybe
the 2 cars hit the wall or something, Jerry. You might check for the Miller crew.
Looks like, yeah, it's got some damage to the right front of that car. And Jeff Bodine has smoke coming from his car.
Bodine is slow down the back stretch, and Wallace is slow down the front stretch. And look at the damage on the right front of that car.
Man, Rusty Wallace, he just can't catch a break here. In 1994, car was running so good, but he's got some heavy damage to the right side of that car. Jerry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but man,
Here he comes, though.
He's over
down the backstretch.
Down the backstretch, trying to get to the pit.
Meanwhile, out on the racetrack, Ernie Irvin has passed for second. He's passed Dale Jarrett, so Ernie Irvin now sets his sights on the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Look at these guys running to the garage area, trying to get back there so they can repair the car to get back on the racetrack as quickly as they can.
Rusty Wallace's 15th position, to make that 11th position in the point standings going into this race, is not an indication of how well the car has run during the event. He has just had some bad luck, and he has suffered more of it here at Darlington as he has finally made his way onto pit road and now looks for the entrance to the garage area so that the team can go back and get this car back on the racetrack to pick up as many points as possible.
Well, there were a lot of crews down on pit road and a lot of drivers on the racetrack that wished they would have thrown a caution there during that little skirmish, but apparently there was nothing on the racetrack, so there was no caution. Let's go to the pits and Jerry.
And as Rusty Wallace brings his car right by me and what's left to the right side of his Miller Genuine Draft completely flattened, you're exactly right, Ned, on your comment. A number of crews would like to see a yellow flag. Foremost among that group, Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Maycar. They pitted on lap 97. Jimmy said they wanted to run 45 laps. They lost a right rear at 35 laps, had to come in early. They're going to try to make it to about lap 142, so they would love to see a yellow flag come out anytime in the next 4 or 5 laps. I understand the car number 21 also got a bit of concrete on the right side, and now Rusty Wallace's crew are going to try to rebuild the Miller Genuine Draft for Thunderbird.
And of course, it's the second time this afternoon that Morgan Shepherd, with whom we are riding right now with the roof cam, has come in contact with the wall. And he brings the car slowly to the apron of the racetrack.
Jeff Burton has been in the pits and Ray Best's Fords, and it won't crank.
All the photographers and the radio people are getting the comment from Rusty Wallace, and now Jerry Punch will move in and also get a word, Jerry.
Rusty, you look like you hit a ton over there. What happened?
Well, I went in turn 3 and the tire went down. I don't know if I ran over a piece of debris or what, but up to then everything was perfect. Never had no problem whatsoever. And all of a sudden, bam, I couldn't turn it going into turn 3.
We saw some tires right front off of Sterling Marlin, right front off Dale Earnhardt. Do you have any indication that the tire is going to come apart?
Well, not really. I mean, I haven't had any problem all day long. Haven't had any problem all week long, and this just happened. So it could be a cut tire.
They're going to try to fix the right side of the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. It is completely flat. They will have to change the right front suspension. He was 11th in the points, not having such a great beginning in 1994. He will certainly drop back today.
Dale Jarrett is on pit road. So is Morgan Shepherd, and the 8 car of Jeff Burton is behind the wall. Let's watch Dale's pit stop here as he gave up 3rd position to come in for some fresh rubber.
Right sides go up. They're off. Jackman lets the car down. They're tightening the lug nuts. A chassis adjustment. Putting a little wedge in that car, about a half a round of wedge in the car. Tightening the left sides. A little trouble back on the left rear.
Yeah, that's a long pit stop.
Yep, 23.3 as Jack goes down, the car rolls away. 23.3 second pit stop for Dale Jarrett.
And that's Rickman's in the Smoking Joe Ford.
And Morgan Shepherd goes back out onto the racetrack. Back with more from Darlington right after these messages.
New from Pizza Hut, the ultimate pepperoni pizza. Zesty herbs, thicker pepperoni for a whole new taste. But remember, one bite of this pizza and there's no going back. Try one for $7.99, a second medium for $5 more.
Pizza Hut's just added 2 new things to our $3.99 lunch buffet, Saturday and Sunday. The fast, delicious pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert lunch buffet is now available 7 days a week with extended hours from 11:30 till 1:30.
Want to get in on the action? Or maybe you just feel lucky. Come on, take a chance. Whether it's thoroughbred horse racing or championship greyhound racing, Sarasota Kennel Club has it all. You can bet on it. It's just a call away. Call TSP.
Need a score or some late-breaking sports news? Call all day, every day, right away. The ESPN Update Line.
Back at Darlington, scheduled pit stop taking place for the 7th time. Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, 6-time Winston Cup champion Earnhardt. Right side tires already on, left side tires going on. 19.6 seconds. Here is Bill Elliott, our pole sitter, in as we are just 2 laps shy of the halfway mark. Elliott now, having gotten right side tires, now gets left side tires on the Budweiser Ford Thunderbird. And clean the grill. He is down and away. All 4 tires on. Let's check in with John Turner.
Irvin had taken over the lead there. He has now come down pit road for a 4-tire change. They make sure they get all that rubber cleaned off the front grille. Right side's already on. They also make a chassis adjustment on the right rear. Left side going on. The team ready and drops the jack. 17.9 seconds. Best pit stop of the day, guys.
Excellent work for the Robert Yates team. 17.9-second pit stop for Ernie Irvin. Jeff Gordon is on pit road, so is Brett Bodine. Ken Schrader has all 4 tires changed. He's rolling again. Here is Jeff Gordon. Ted Musgrave comes in. There you see Brett Bodine pulling out. Now Jeff Gordon's work is completed. Gordon was running 6th. Brett was running 7th. And Musgrave was in the, I can't find him, 4th position. There he is. Mark Martin is the leader, and he should be coming in for a pit stop soon.
He's coming in right now, Bob, as you speak. He's slowing down, coming off turn 4, and he'll be heading the Valvoline Ford right down in the area where Jerry Punch is.
Exactly, Ned. 55 miles per hour. Mark's already had a pretty good weekend. He won 2 races here at Darlington on yesterday with the International Race of Champions, and of course the Mark Freeman's 200 Busch Grand National. Here he is, a young man from Arkansas, as they have a tremendous amount of rubber in the front grille. They wipe some of that rubber away, clean the windshield. They will change all 4 tires. Right side tires going on. Left side lug nuts coming off. They crank 1 round, 2 round, about a round and a half a wedge in the right rear. And watch them pump off the ground. They drop the jack. He is down and away, a little over 19 seconds.
19.1 second stop for Mark Martin, and he's back underway. Watch the jack man.
As Jeff Troxler comes around, 2, 3, and you see that the left side is much heavier than the right side. Actually, the left side is harder to get up than the right side because it weighs, with Mark Martin sitting in there, probably 300 pounds more than the right side.
Not that Mark Martin weighs 300 pounds, but they do run more left side weight. What is it, 55-45 basically?
I think it's 56% on the left side is the maximum you can run.
We understand that Wally Dallenbach Jr., the STP Pontiac, has lost a fuel pumps. Pitting on the backstretch. We saw him go slowly down the pit road there a little while ago.
Here's a race 4 position. Martin and teammate Musgrave.
12th and 13th.
Yep. Martin has those fresh tires. It's been a few laps since Musgrave was in.
Yeah, only a couple or maybe 3 laps he was in before Martin came in. But 2 or 3 laps can make a big difference.
Big difference.
Tires.
Mark Martin, of course, the winner of the most recent race held here at Darlington, the Southern 500 last checker. But twice in victory lane yesterday. Ooh, a little wiggle on the car there in 3.
Jimmy Hensley going out of the pits in the Petron Plus Ford number 55.
There's a race for 2nd place. Harry Gant, who started just a little bit earlier than Ernie Irvin, is currently running in 2nd place. Here comes Ernie. Tires has a few laps less on than Harry's. He should be able to pass him, and boy, was that easy or what?
Man. Irvin is in 2nd, Gant 3rd, Marlin running 4th, then Jarrett. Here is Dale Earnhardt putting a lap on Jeff Gordon. Gordon is 17th, so there are 16 cars that are now on the lead lap, and the 16th place car is Rick Mast in car 1. Earnhardt, Gant, Irvin, Marlin, and Jarrett, the top 5 at the end of 151 of 293 laps.
We may not be the first to promise you the sun, the moon, the stars. But we may be the first to actually deliver them. Introducing the new Camaro convertible. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
They hate to be late. Traffic makes them mad. And waiting makes them furious. Sound familiar? Then drive through McDonald's for breakfast. It's fresh, hot, delicious, and served at top speed so you can get back in the race.
Mess with me.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow, I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
And action.
You know, Buffalo's pretty famous for its wings, but, you know, we got some pretty good centers, too, eh?
Hey? You like the A?
Now let's do it again.
ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Allied Signals Cram Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. Dale Earnhardt leads the Transouth Financial 400. While we were away, the one car of Rick Mass lost a lap, then came in for a pit stop. There are currently 15 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Rick Mass got off the sequence, Bob, with the others. He had to make a pit stop earlier. I think we saw that here, and so this was a scheduled pit stop for it this time, but he's off sequence from the others.
And Michael Waltrip is about to go 2 laps down. Here is Ward Burton passing Lake Speed, and that's Jimmy Spencer ahead of Ward.
Well, that's not the position. Ward Burton is a lap behind these cars.
Ward is 25th. A lap down, Lake Speed and Spencer are on the lead lap in 13th and 14th. Riding with Lake.
Down in turn 1. These guys, the crew is telling them they got to hustle because Earnhardt is not that far behind them.
And we are coming up on the race record. The average speed is 129.9 and the race record is 132.7. And by the way, the 22 car of Bobby Labonte has returned to competition.
Trying to keep that streak alive and running at the finish to hold his 20th race streak alive.
Jeff Gordon is trying to get his lap back from Dale Earnhardt. The front stretch, headed into turn 1. Trying desperately to.
He makes it.
Yeah, he does. Jeff Gordon is running 15th.
And it looks to me like that Ernie Irvin is gaining on Dale Earnhardt.
I think he is.
Irvin is in second place, and the Haviland Texaco forward, it looks like he's gaining a little bit on Earnhardt. And they stopped 1 lap apart. Earnhardt stopped 1 lap earlier. We'll go back, and there comes Ernie Irvin. So,
well, I'll get my unofficial watch running here, and it's 3 5/10 seconds.
The interval between first and second, Earnhardt and Irvin. Earnhardt is turning laps of a little over 152 miles an hour as compared with a 165.5 full speed by Elliott. There is Irvin easily putting a lap on Michael Waltrip. Another lap. Michael is 2 laps down in 26th.
Gordon passed Earnhardt and pulled away to about a 15-20 car length advantage.
As we told you earlier, the 22 car of Bobby Labonte has returned to competition, but he finds himself 97 laps down.
There's Earnhardt, and there comes Ernie Irvan right behind Kyle Petty.
Our snapshot showing you that he started 11th, has led 3 laps. He's currently second, and his lowest so far in the race was 11th on the first lap. Position that he started in.
Kyle Petty moves over and says, "You're a lot faster than I am, so go right ahead."
Let's see where Kyle is. He's 16th a lap down. So can Ernie Irvan catch Dale Earnhardt? He appears to be closing in as we have completed now more than half of this 400-mile race here at Darlington, the first since 1972. Back after these messages. Stay with us.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
If you want to know why most NASCAR teams use a Sears Die-Hard battery, just ask a guy who didn't use a Die-Hard. Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. For more power when you need it most.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes?
How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
NASCAR fans, Sunday, April 17th is a date you want to remember. The NASCAR Race for Savings Coupon Supplement is coming directly to your newspaper. It will be jammed full of NASCAR Race for Savings coupons, sponsor products, special coupons, limited edition collector's gifts, and much more. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings coupons can be found in the coupon supplement section of your newspaper. It will happen only one time this year, so don't miss out. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings is headed directly to you.
Welcome back to Darlington as Harry Gant is on pit road. Remember, he had gotten somewhat out of sequence with the other teams, and you may notice now, as the cars flash by, Harry's engine is shut off. That means he cannot engage the clutch, a problem with the clutch pedal. So what they will have to do is try and help push start the car while it's in gear. They get the left sides on. The crew will start pushing Harry into pit road. 21.5 seconds as the engine does fire, and he heads down toward turn 1. Bob?
All right, thank you, John. Harry has been running up front in the top 5 most of the day.
And while we're way on break, Bob, Sterling Marlin made a pit stop. He was running in the top 5, but he had a right front tire flat on the Kodak film Chevrolet. He's behind Dale Earnhardt, coming up on him very quickly. We'll see him come into the picture there pretty soon because he's running a lot. There he is, the yellow Earnhardt. Sterling Marlin, but he should be 2 laps behind. He was about,
that's right.
Yeah, he is 2 laps behind, so he's coming up to get one of those back.
Showing in 25th position, Sterling Marlin.
Les Richter with NASCAR just came into the booth just a second ago and told me that they have released it. Look, the tailpipe or something hanging on that 40 car.
Yep.
But they have released the teams to be able to change brands of tires. You know, Goodyear came with the tires that they were supposed to come with, but the teams are using them so fast they're out of tires. And Rick Masters down there right now, he has 1 set of tires left.
So let's hear from Jerry Punch with more on this, how some of the other teams are coming along as far as tires are concerned.
Well, Bob, just take a look behind me. This area here, the Hoosier compound, has become the busiest place at Darlington Raceway. Since the announcement a moment ago, I talked to Bill Elliott's team, Mike Beam. They had 9 sets of tires to begin the day's race. They have just 3 sets left, and we are just past the halfway point. Here is Harry Gant's crew. The caution has come on the racetrack for debris on the racetrack. The yellow flag waves once again. But take a look behind me. Suddenly, these guys are just working as fast as they can. They are unloading tires from the semi to the right here as fast as the guy can throw them on to the pavement so they can mount these tires and get them around the racetrack to the other crews.
Well, of course, one of the stipulations is that they have to come here with enough tires to supply all the teams, so they have quite a few in that truck from which they're getting them. And the yellow is out, as you indicated, Jerry, because of debris on the racetrack. It comes on lap 171, and the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt, now is slowed down behind the pace car. The pits are open, and you can see Earnhardt and others coming and peeling off of the racetrack and onto pit road. Jeff Gordon, by the way, picked up his lap.
Yeah, we saw him pass Dale Earnhardt and get back on the lead lap, so this is a break for him.
Here's Jerry to call the pit stops as he is in Ernie Irvin's.
We're about the midpoint of pit road because Earnhardt pitting down turn 1 in the car number 3. Here's Ernie Irvin's car number 28 and Dale Jarrett in the car number 18 pitting up further toward turn 4. We would expect to see all 4 tires change. 28, 18, and 3, as you said before. 28, top of your screen. That's the Ford Thunderbird. And 18 and 3 is going on the 28. He is down and away. Left side on Earnhardt. 20.2 on the car number 28. 19.3 on Dale Jarrett and 19.6 on Dale Earnhardt. Pretty good pit work under caution here as they all head back to turn 1.
Indeed, according to our calculations, Dale Jarrett's crew just a tick of the watch faster on that particular set of pit stops than the others. Work completed here on the main straightaway as now the activity picks up on the backstretch pits. We'll take another break and be back in just a moment to Darlington.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are the kind of people who like to work on their cars themselves. That way they save money and they know the work's done right. Of course, when they come to AutoZone, they know they're going to find the right part for the right price. But sometimes what they're looking for is just a little advice. And that's okay because we don't put a price tag on it. You see, at AutoZone, we take pride in taking care of our customers. And we've learned that when you treat folks right, they keep coming back.
The 1994 Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
If you're looking for a reliable place for your car or truck, I've got news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, $10 rebate on all Futura, Michelin, and Uniroyal tires in stock.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Now, every company in America that switches to MCI will get a check that doubles their savings every time they get a proof positive statement this year. Surely, one of these checks has your name on it.
My Sports Center highlight goes like this. He hits a monster slap shot, but I catch it behind my back, Frisbee style. And everyone's so stunned, I start skating. My coach is yelling, go. Bob leaves giving me directions, but I'm the amazing skating goalie. And I score the winning goal. Wow. Which gets me a dance with Ty Babylonia. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
172 of 293 laps completed here. The top 10, it's Earnhardt, Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, and Ted Musgrave. 6 through 10, Ken Schrader, pole sitter Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, and Brett Bodine. We remind you that in just about 2 hours from now, at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, coming up right after our coverage for the Transouth Financial 500, 400, it is Shop Talk. And the featured driver this week is Dale Earnhardt. Don't miss it at 5 o'clock right after our coverage of this event, a special 1-hour Shop Talk featuring Dale. And then 2 weeks from today, April 10th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, live coverage from Bristol, Tennessee of the Winston Cup race there. And we'll be right back.
Get ready! DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track. DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track, has something for you every Saturday night. And it's awesome. Late model sportsman, open wheel modified, straight stocks, modified minis, your stock minis, and a limited schedule of pro figure 8. Always free parking and great food at DeSoto Speedway.
Don't miss Saturday, March 26th for DeSoto Thunder, featuring super late models and twin 50s at DeSoto Speedway.
By now, everyone knows that Marine Surplus has just about any part or accessory for your boat, no matter how big or small. And everyone knows that Marine Surplus has over 21,000 square feet of boating supplies in stock. But did you know that Marine Surplus has been in business for over 10 years, and in that time has acquired a knowledgeable, experienced staff who can help you find just what you're looking for, or provide tips on making installation easier. So when you're looking for a part and maybe some helpful advice, think of the friendly people at Marine Surplus.
The forest. The flyer knows the air, but no one knows who's going to win this game. The New York Rangers versus the Philadelphia Flyers, Tuesday at 7:30, NHL on ESPN2.
Set to go back to green flag racing here at Darlington. The leader of the event is Dale Earnhardt. The car in front of him is Sterling Marlin. He is at the tail end of the lead lap. The crowd looks on. It's a tremendous crowd that has gathered here this Sunday afternoon in South Carolina as we go back to racing on lap 176.
There's Todd Bodine in the car number 75, racing to get one of his laps back as well. He is currently being shown. Well, there he is in 28th position. He's 3 laps down. And Earnhardt goes by Sterling. Sterling stayed out there, didn't come in. He has several laps on those tires that he has on there. He was hoping that there might be a caution.
Also gets and now here he is. Continue to be impressed with the run that Dale Jarrett is having here this afternoon. He's up to 3rd again, and a big pack of cars behind him as the scramble for position is on. Mark Martin goes to the inside of Sterling Marlin. Martin is 4th.
Got caught up in some of the lap traffic. There was the battle for 5th between Ken Schrader, and he just got around Ted Musgrave, who was running 5th, and they made a little contact.
Riding with Derek Cope now in the Fingerhut car, and the tribute to Neil Bonnet is there, the number 51 on the right side of the dash.
It was certainly miss Neil.
Not many days going by we don't think about that situation, I tell you. Neil Bonnet, what he meant to the sport.
Here is Irvin challenging Earnhardt for the lead now off of turn 4. This is the 22nd race here at Darlington that Earnhardt has led, and he has led over 2,100 laps of competition. But he right now is looking at a challenge from Ernie Irvin. Look at the last lap speed, 160 after the new tires, and Irvin's got the lead.
Now watch Earnhardt try to dip under. Nope, couldn't do it that time. You knew he was going to do that too, or try it, didn't you?
Well, you would think he would try it, yeah. Jarrett running real close in 3rd. Look
wow.
at this mess.
Folks, there's going to be a wreck.
Oh,
that's a wreck looking for a place to have.
That's the truth. I don't see how in the world they got through there.
Hud Strickland and Jeff Gordon and Steve Grissom and others. Lots of others.
Man.
Rick Mast, I believe, has just blown the Stoll Classic Ford number 21. He slowed dramatically going into turn 3 and pulled down and headed to the pit area.
That gaggle of cars still together as Jeff Gordon dips down the inside of Steve Grissom. Little contact there between those two cars.
Lake Speed had contact with Fred Bodine, it looked like. Strickland moving to the inside of the lake.
And Jeff Gordon had to get out of the throttle and lost his momentum, and now he's being challenged by, is that Ward Burton?
Yep, so.
Yep, Ward down on the inside. Jimmy Hensley coming up there behind him. Car 55. Here's another battle.
Elliott, Marlin, Labonte. Rudd is in that group, so is Cope and Musgrave.
Of course, Cope and Marlin are left down.
Oh, a big puff of smoke here on the main straightaway.
John Andretti blue going down the front straightaway.
Caution is out.
Yes.
Well, the owners love to see these caution. I mean, the drivers love to see the caution flags because they can stop getting more tires. And look at Todd Bodine. He got that lap back, but the owners hate it because it's $1,200 every time the caution flag's in there.
And now, while we have an opportunity, let's look at our Busch race recap. Dale Earnhardt has led 81 of the first 178 laps, 21 lead changes among 9 cars. 13 cars remain on the lead lap. 4 caution periods, 21 laps, and the average speed almost 128 miles an hour. Those that have led include Earnhardt, who has led the most at 81. Also Wallace, who's out of the race. Marlin, Jarrett, Elliott, and Marcus. Dave Marcus led 4 laps. Each of these drivers picking up 5 bonus points. And Sachs, Urban, and Martin have also been leaders. Out of the race, only 2 cars officially, Wally Dallenbach and Jeff Bodine.
At the same time, Rusty Wallace hit the wall up there. Jeff Bodine had his problem, so... And all the leaders come in the pits. Ernie Irvin comes to a stop. We see Schrader already stopped. Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin's in. All the leaders are in on the front straightaway.
Jeff Gordon among the last to pull in for service. Ernie Irvin's crew going to work on the Haviland Ford. Here's Jerry Punch.
And as you watch him complete the tire change here, Ernie Irvin's car, they made another chassis adjustment in the left rear of that car. Now remember that tire recovery plan we showed you a little while earlier in Ernie Irvin pit? That may be the key factor in being able to keep that car on Goodyear tires. As they scramble back toward turn 1, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Brett Bodine all go back to turn 1 after changing all 4 tires.
Dale Jarrett was a big leader, big loser there in those pit stops. It just took about 26 seconds. And we mentioned that Rick Mast had slowed, took his car into the garage. He's with John Kerner.
Well, Ed, Rick has just climbed from the Skull Classic Ford. And Rick, an engine problem?
Yeah, something broke under the hood in the drivetrain. I'm not sure, transmission, motor, or in. It's something broke big time. I don't know. But you know, big thing today is tires. You know, we had our tire trouble real early. You know, I definitely had a top 10 car, and we got down, kept having tire trouble. We kind of thought maybe we had it worked out. Maybe some of the other guys that started having trouble towards the end, and we'd make some of the ground back up. It wasn't to be. We'll get them at Bristol in a couple weeks.
Well, that's Rick Mast, still able to smile. Let's go back out to pit road and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, remember a little bit ago we showed you how busy it was over in the Hoosier compound. Well, take a look behind me here in the Goodyear compound. All these guys that are hard-working dudes that work every week mounting all these tires. Nothing to do here, but there's a reason for that. You see, Goodyear has a minimum that NASCAR gives them to bring to the track. That's 800 tires, left side and right side. They met that minimum and then some, but they had 36 of the 41 starters in today's race on their tires. So all their tires were sold by 11 o'clock this morning. These guys can sit in here with a big screen television and watch the ESPN race. They do have some tires here. Let me show you. There's these big semis here, 3 of them parked here that came full of tires. There's a few tires in here, but they're all left side tires. And the key is the teams need right side tires. If you have to change right side tires or change compounds or change brands, you have to change all 4 to the Hoosier. So obviously a very lonely spot here right now in the Goodyear compound.
It's like all those guys there in that compound need are a couple of hamburgers and some hot dogs, Benny.
Sounds good to me.
Top 10 at the end of 184 laps. Ernie Irvin, Dale Earnhardt, Ken Schrader, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott. In the second 5, it is Gordon, Jarrett, Bodine, Rudd, and Spencer.
Without you, they'd never make it down this mountain. Horses don't show much appreciation, but a job well done still has its rewards.
Head for the mountains of Bush.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
But can they plow the back 40? Introducing the new, more powerful Grand L series from Kubota with our smoothest, quietest tractor engine yet.
If you want to know why most NASCAR teams use a Sears Die-Hard battery, just ask a guy who didn't use a Die-Hard. Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. For more power when you need it most.
We welcome you back to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. As you can see, the field is going down the backstretch in front of the brand new Tyler Tower, the double-deck grandstand on the backstretch. It is with heavy hearts that we tell you that the man for whom that was named, Red Tyler, who is shown on the right with the current track president Jim Hunter on the left, passed away a week ago today. He was the president of this racetrack from 1983 until he retired in 1989. Not only was he a great man as far as racing and Darlington Raceway is concerned, but he was a great contributor to society here in South Carolina, receiving its highest honor by the governor, the Order of the Palmetto. We'll miss Red Tyler.
Fitting tribute to Red Tyler, because everyone that's worked on it has seen it. Tells me it's world class, just like Red Tyler.
And many other changes are going on here in Darlington to move from what the racetrack calls a dinosaur facility to a state-of-the-art facility. In the coming years, when we come back here to Darlington, we're going to see many, many more changes, all in the interest of making this a better place to come and enjoy a great NASCAR Winston Cup race.
And we've got a good one going on right now. Of course, Ernie Irvin is the leader. Dale Earnhardt is second. Ken Schrader had a great pit stop during that caution. Came out in third place.
Just a little more than 100 laps to go in this event. As you see an Autolite field summary showing you where everybody is and showing you those that have dropped out of competition. It is Ernie Irvin looking for his third straight NASCAR Winston Cup win here in the 94 season as he threatens to run away with things this year. And John Kernan is with another John Andretti. John is having microphone problems.
John Kernan is having microphone problems. John Andretti looked like he was anxious to talk to John Kernan.
He was ready to go.
Yes. Look at Schrader close up on the back bumper of Earnhardt.
How about that? He's in third. Yes. Irvin, Earnhardt, and Schrader are the top three, and look at Ken.
On the tire swap situation, we understand that Todd Bodine has gotten 4 sets of tires from his brother Jeff's car. Jeff, of course,
running the Hoosier car.
Yeah, running Hoosier. He's out of the race now, and so Todd has some extra tires there.
He's left to switch from Goodyear to the Hoosier.
Yeah, right. So Jeff Bodine was running Hoosier.
There we see the 77 car, Greg Sachs, being overtaken by Ernie Irvin.
That's one of the cars that started on Hoosier, so Greg Sachs car.
And Jerry, what do we look forward to as far as pit stops in the coming laps?
Bob, most of the top teams, and I'm referring primarily to the Ernie Irvin team where I'm standing right now, have said that they know they can run about 38 laps without seeing the right side tires come apart. So they figure their window is they'll make 3 more stops at 35 lap intervals, and they have enough tires, thanks primarily to the Wood brothers. So the last time the Wood brothers won here was 1981, the Southern 500 with the late Neil Bonnet. But if the car number 28 goes to victory lane, the Wood brothers will have a share in that victory. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much. And now with less than 100 laps to go in this event, it remains Irvin, Earnhardt, and Schrader.
And one of the fastest cars on the racetrack is Harry Ginn. He's just picking them off. He's a lap down, but he's coming up on Bill Elliott there. He's going towards the front. He might be running faster than the leader, but he's a lap down.
Yes, he is.
14th position, 13 cars in the lead lap. Harry's the first one of those cars that's a lap down.
Elliott is 5th.
Dale Jarrett has gotten around Jeff Gordon, moved into 6th position. Jarrett had a slow pit stop, and somebody just dropped off the pace. It's Brett Bodine. He dropped off dramatically as he came off of turn 2. He's down on the inside now, headed, it looks like, towards the pit area in the Quaker State Ford.
He was running in 8th position.
So he was one of those 13 cars that was on the lead lap.
And as he was doing that, the number 9 car also, and Terry Labonte just blew going down the front straightaway. Going in turn 1, I don't think he's going to be able, yes, he slowly went back up on the racetrack, but he's able to stop it. Maybe that's a tire that let go.
Well, something went wrong. Both of those cars that we saw just within a lap here were on the lead lap, so I believe it might have been a tire. Look at the pieces coming off of it there, Benny.
Jerry, what's the story on Brett?
Well, Kenny Bernstein and company are headed to the garage area, and they will not be coming out. Unfortunately, Kenny just walked by and said, Doc, we just broke an engine. Some kind of luck, huh? So they head back to the garage area, and we'll call it a day.
And he lost an engine on Thursday during practice. Ran a half a lap, lost an engine. Did not get any practice before his qualifying run.
And Terry Labonte also has the hood up on his car, and they're taking a look at it. It looked pretty bad, though, as he came down the straightaway here.
Yeah, it must have been more than tires, but there were some pieces flying off of it as he came into the pits there, so we didn't know what.
And the 75 car is back in the pits as well. Just Todd Bodine, and the hood goes up on that car.
Boy, all of a sudden, we're seeing a lot of cars have trouble here.
Well, that appears to be overheating. They're putting water in the radiator, and you can see the guy scraping the tire residue from the front of the car.
And as we said earlier, that's one of the problems here at the Darlington Raceway.
And the 4 cars off the pace. Sterling Marlin, the Daytona 500 winner, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, he's headed for pit road.
He was running 16th a lap down, but he drops to the apron of the track over between turns 3 and 4, and the Kodak Film crew begins the run to the garage area.
With a water can in hand.
Well, I don't know where he's going. Sterling looks like, don't see any smoke from the car.
No. Everything looks, the tires seem to be up.
And he's going to his pit. Jerry Punch, here he comes.
What's the deal?
Well, we just got down here, Benny. We're trying to catch our breath. Tim Morgan just told me the car is running very, very hot. Change tires, but more importantly, Tony Glover is going to take the hood pins off, raise the hood, and they're going to have to put some water in it to try to get some of the debris out of the radiator. Apparently, he's also going to be penalized for too fast down pit road. Jack Whittemore, the NASCAR official, stands right in front of the car, and if that is the case, and they put now the water hose, it's probably going to be a moot point. He's going to lose plenty of valuable time under the green, but he will be held 15 seconds whenever he is ready to leave. Back upstairs.
And while we're watching this, Dale Earnhardt has taken the lead. Just went by Ernie Irvin up in 3 and 4, and Earnhardt back in the lead.
The race-long battle between Ernie and Dale continues with Earnhardt back on top.
And Mark Martin has moved around Kenny Schrader and has moved into 3rd.
And here is how Earnhardt got the lead from Ernie.
Ernie goes in the corner, and Earnhardt just drives by and takes the lead away. And look how he's stretching out. Has Ernie got a problem? I mean, he's stretching out 20 car lengths in one lap.
Yep.
And right there, Harry Gant just went around Mark Martin. He still is the fastest car on the racetrack. He was way behind those guys and has run them down and passed them. Now, he's been coming in earlier for tires than some of the others, but he has a fast race car.
And is 12th, a lap down. Here's Ricky Rudd along with Ted Musgrave.
Mike Wallace.
There's Kyle Petty.
Ricky Rudd is in 11th place, the last car on the lead lap.
And the Tide Ford.
And Darrell Waltrip's going to the pits on the back straightaway.
Well, we have had 22 lead changes now, and that is a record for 400 miles here at Darlington. It's been a very competitive race and a very unpredictable race. Lake Speed going to the inside of Hensley.
That's 9th, the 15 and 16 are racing for the 9th spot.
Well, Lake Speed starting 35th, now up to 9th place, having a good run here today.
And then Rudd, of course, also in the battle for position. So those 3 cars right there on the same lap, the lead lap, and battling for position.
9th, 10th, and 11th.
Jerry Punch has more on Ernie Irvin's situation.
Well, we told you earlier that these guys had to be very careful with using their car and the tires up. They can only go about 35 laps. A few laps ago, Larry McReynolds apparently reminded Ernie Irvin that you have to get at least 35 laps out of these tires if we're to make it to the finish on our Goodyear tires. So that's what they're doing, trying to make sure they take care of the rubber on the race car.
And Greg Sachs is slow down the straightaway, and the rubber appears to be coming from that car. Looks like he may have had contact with the wall.
It looks like he might have banged the right side of that car. Let's see.
There he is up in turn 4.
Yeah, he is up against the wall. Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett had just gotten around him going into turn 3. And that happened coming off turn 4.
And here it is from another angle.
There we see him go in the corner and goes up and bam on the side of in the wall, and he took that car directly to the back pits.
Jerry Punch has more. Jerry?
Apparently, Greg Sachs had no brakes, and that's the reason the car bounced off the wall. We're not really sure whether the brake situation was going down as he tried to go in the corner, but as you just saw a moment ago, the car glances off the outside wall up in turn 4. What a tough break after they had a great run at Atlanta Motor Speedway, losing a lap in the pits and getting a very impressive 7th place finish. We'll have more from Darlington, South Carolina after this. Stay with us.
How to identify the mountain man. Should be easy. I mean, doesn't a mountain man only live in really cold climates? Always go to bed when the sun sets? Wear a cowboy hat at all times? Actually, the easiest way to identify a mountain man is by his beer. Smooth Bush beer, or easy drinking Bush Light, the 2 cool beers of the mountain man. So, be a mountain man. All you gotta do is head for the mountains.
It began in the heartland, in towns small and large. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 12,500 convenient locations, more than any other company of any kind in America. Citgo, feel the pride.
Dale Earnhardt is the leader of the Transouth Financial 400 with 209 laps completed. NASCAR Winston Cup Racing here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Well, we think we have John Kernan's microphone problems fixed. John Andretti is still standing by.
That's right, Bob. We've managed to talk John Andretti to stand by. They're loading up his car on the trailer. And John, a problem in the engine compartment?
Well, you know, we just had a couple little problems, and we were out. We got off on the tire changes, and I got up and got a Darlington stripe, and then we had to fix the car because of the tow, and then the motor blew up. But I'd like to thank Total for the help on this race, and Financial World for the help all season, and all the other people that have helped us. It's Hagen Racing Team Jet. We're still going to be around, and got a new sponsor for the next race, so we'll be all right.
How about that first Darlington stripe? How was that experience?
It's never a good experience because it means you hit the wall, and I don't like to get up there and do that, but we can fix it and we'll be back. And like I said, you know, we're not dead yet. We're going to keep coming back.
I tell you what, there are a lot of great race car drivers who've gotten more than one Darlington stripe in their career.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get any more. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And Bob, the problem that we had down here, his engine expired. Well, my transmitter expired. We had to have a pit stop and change 4 batteries.
Okay. You're back in the running, though. That's good. There's a battle for position. That's Spencer and Musgrave.
Great spot. And, you know, Ted Musgrave's teammate, Mark Martin, might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
He's running in third spot, yeah.
Third spot.
And as you saw while we were talking to John Andretti, Rusty Wallace rolled back out onto the racetrack with a little bit of sheet metal damage.
About 74 laps down. And also, I don't know if we mentioned that Sterling Marlin has taken the Kodak Film Chevrolet into the garage area.
It's a good battle between these two. Musgrave picks up the position from Jimmy.
And here's Lake Speed and Ricky Rudd. They're right in there battling for position as well.
The only car not in the battle for position here is Ward Burton, the 31 Hardee's car.
Looks like he's the fastest of the ball.
Yeah, right. He ought to be racing for position.
He's 14th a lap down as we ride with Lake Speed. Bright sunshine, where they were thinking rain was going to come this afternoon, but it isn't looking very rainy right now.
Looking beautiful right now.
Here's a Fram Field summary.
See Jeff Gordon, Spencer, Musgrave, Speed, all these cars in the lead lap along with Ricky Rudd.
And there they are, racing for position.
Lots of cars are one lap down. And you get back there in 21st place to Michael Waltrip. He's 2 laps down. He and Mike Wallace.
Steve Grissom gets by Spencer.
Bobby Labonte is 121 laps down, but not out of the race yet.
Mark Martin has caught up to Ernie Irvin. About ready to put a move on him for second place. As Benny mentioned a moment ago, Martin, Valvoline Ford, might be the fastest car on the track. There's Bobby Labonte, mentioned him. And he's still out there rolling.
Now Martin will set up Ernie and take second position in turn 2.
Yeah, boy, he just motored around. And Ernie got up a little bit high there, couldn't get traction off of the turn. Going for his 3rd win this weekend. Mark Martin got 2 victories yesterday. I'll tell you, 1 victory a year, 1 victory a career on this racetrack is good. And Benny and I have 1 each year, and we're proud of it. And here that man won 2 races in 1 day.
He is going for the ultimate trifecta, that's for sure. Hud Strickland just had the Smoking Joe car in the pit area. There's Harry Gant. We see Mark Martin got by Harry and kind of pulled away from him. So
yeah, Harry, I think, really used his tires up. He was fast there for a while and went up through there. He might be headed for the pits. He moves over and lets Ken Schrader go by. Let's see if Harry's going to come in. But he might be in that window that Jerry Punch was talking about there a little bit earlier. He needs to run another 5 or 6 laps, and then he could split 70 laps, and that would work out good for him. So that's probably what he's going to do, is ride it out until he gets down to about 70 or 72 laps.
Lake Speed's car, the Ford Quality Care automobile. 31 car going by the 12. And here comes Lake Speed trying to get up alongside. Look at Lake Speed. Started 35th.
Yeah.
And he's up to 9th spot.
Lap 171, he was 12th and moved up to 11th and is currently in 9th position. And he's battling Musgrave for that position.
And Lake Speed is one of those drivers who has a victory here at Darlington.
Look at Ward Burton from 38th to 14th.
Ward's best run of the year.
Yeah. And Ted Musgrave started 20th.
As we watch this, Dave Marcus goes in the pits on the back straightaway. Musgrave's car losing the handle here in the last few laps. Rudd will give back another spot.
So that means that Rudd goes to 9th.
I'll tell you what, the 28 is really moving. Ernie Irvin is losing a lot of ground to the 3 car and the 6 car.
Time for a tire change from the 28 car, Ernie Irvin. Here comes Earnhardt, the leader. He's in.
Right now, 28 car coming in right behind him. And so is Jeff Gordon. Jerry Punch, you're coming at you.
And this is scheduled stop. Remember, we told you they could run through 35 and 38 laps. 38 was the maximum. Well, this is 38 laps exactly from the last time Ernie Irvin pitted. 3 on the top, 28 on the bottom. Chevrolet top, Ford on bottom. We'd expect to see him change all 4 tires. At least they hope they change all four. They had the left side lug nuts off on Ernie Irvin 28 Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Likewise, the car number 3 getting its service further down pit road. Jack prop on the 28, and that has caused some problems. Now they wait on the jack to come around to the left side. Valuable time being lost. Left front tire going on. Joey Knuckles puts the lug nuts on. Left rear on. They pull the jack. And now they are holding Ernie Irvin in the pits for 15 seconds. They are going to hold him here in the pits. A NASCAR, now they let him go, and he is down and away. Dale Jarrett is in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet, and they will change all 4 tires. A major chassis adjustment in the right side of Dale Jarrett's car. They had some bite in the car. The car was slipping and sliding. Good pit stop for Jimmy Medcar Company. Less than 19 seconds for the Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
Bill Elliott was also in the Budweiser Ford.
We've been talking about how good the Miller Genuine Draft and the Haviland Ford crews have been, but I'll tell you, the Dale Jarrett's crew has been very efficient today on pit road.
They've had some good stops. They had that one stop that was a little bit longer. It had a little bit of a problem on the left side, but basically they've had very good pit stops.
And poor Ernie Irvin, when it rains, it pours. He had a terrible pit stop, and then NASCAR held him for 15 seconds. So he's almost 3/4 of a lap down. There we see Rusty Wallace going by Mark Martin. I guess Mark Martin's our leader, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But he needs a pit stop. Bobby Hamilton is coming in, and he's coming in, but he may have something more serious than that. He may have blown up.
Rear tire split on that car.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Kendall All, Pontiac.
We got 69 laps to go, and pit stops being made here at the Transouth Financial 400 in Darlington. We'll be right back.
Now when you buy a case of quality Valvoline motor oil, you can send away for a Valvoline t-shirt.
Honey, can you pick up some milk?
Okay. And become a member of the Valvoline Performance Team. Join the team, and you'll feel like you're right in the middle of the action. So buy a case and get a shirt, plus great deals on Valvoline racing gear and a lot more.
Can you get some milk?
People who know use Valvoline. Also available with Mark Martin NASCAR design.
Blasé. Passé. Okay. Cliché. Obvious. Tedious. Frivolous. What a wuss. Speechless.
So you've never done nothing till you do the full tilt taste of Diet Dew. Obsessed. Possessed. Impressed. No contest.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
If you're looking for a reliable place for your car or truck, I've got news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, $10 rebate on all Futura, Michelin, and Uniroyal tires in stock.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Mark Martin had the lead. He gave it up to come in for a 19.7-second pit stop, giving the lead to Ken Schrader. And now Schrader comes in. So that's going to pit Dale Earnhardt back in the lead. Here's John.
Bob, it'll be a 4-tire change for Kenny Schrader. They had stayed out a little bit longer than the other teams, simply to pick up the 5 bonus points. Right side work already completed. Left side tires going on. They've been having some great pit stops today. Each tire, well, they've got 5 sets. Tires as he pulls down and heads down pit road, 19.2 seconds. They picked up the tires from the 5 team when they went out. Okay. And now let's go down pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And the car number 28, remember the problem? They were being held 15 seconds in the pits. Well, apparently that was because they had 8 men over the wall. 8 men over the wall. And we might also mention that they are going to penalize, apparently, the car number 25 for being too fast on pit road. Kenny Schrader is going to have to come back in for a stop-and-go penalty. What a tough break for a young man who has driven his heart out to get a good top 5 finish.
And, Jerry, as long as he stayed out there on those old tires and as fast as Dale Earnhardt and them were running on the new tires, he'll be lucky to come in and take that penalty and stay on the lead lap.
He was just black flagged. We'll see if he does come in next time around. There's the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt, with 64 laps to go. Last year, Earnhardt won this race and went on to win the championship. In 7 of the last 9 years, the winner of this race has finished either first or second in the year in points. Here, Schrader heeding the black flag and coming in for his stop-and-go penalty for being too fast, exceeding the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit down pit road.
Oh, boy, that's a tough break. Maybe gained him half a second. 20, probably. Now let's see. Earnhardt, where he is, he's coming off of turn 4. In fact, he's going to lap him.
Yep.
Right there he is going into turn 1. You see Earnhardt on the outside. You saw Schrader down on the inside coming out of the pit. So Ken Schrader will go a lap down.
He will go to well position, I believe.
Bill Elliott's now running second after that round of pit stops. Dale Jarrett is third. And in fourth place is Jeff Gordon. Mark Martin is in fifth place.
There's the race for position. Or second. And some traffic right in front of them.
Bobby Hamilton just came out of the pit with new tires there not long ago. Dave Marcus. Dave has a sponsorship on that car that he's hoping is going to work for him in the future.
Yeah, it's Terramite, which is a construction equipment company in Charleston, West Virginia, giving him some money for the weekend and thinking about possibly joining the team on a more regular basis.
Well, I hope that works out for Dave. I'll tell you, he's been a real supporter of NASCAR Winston Cup racing for many, many years and deserves every break he can get.
And if you wonder why Mark Martin is not racing for second place, as we watch Harry Gant trying to get by Earnhardt, get one of his laps back. Harry is 1 lap down, so he's trying to get by Earnhardt.
So that put him back in the lead lap, right?
Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will.
At one time, Harry was 2 laps down.
Yep, now he's in the lead lap.
Okay, now Earnhardt's going to try to get right back under. No, he's going to back off. He's going to let it go. He just wanted to aggravate him a little bit.
That's exactly what that was, man. Just playing the game.
Yep.
By the way, Earnhardt has now led 100 of the first 233 laps, and he will pick up the 5 extra bonus points for leading the most laps. And Musgrave is in.
The family channel car number 16. He was running in the 8th position. And we saw Kenny Schrader coming up on Earnhardt. Here's Dale Jarrett trying to take over 2nd position from Bill Elliott. Looks like he's got it. Ooh, he goes high. Elliott tried to get back under, but he couldn't quite do it. But anyway, Ken Schrader, with those new tires, is just did get around Dale Earnhardt, so he's gotten himself back in the lead lap. Bill Elliott sawing the wheel a little bit on that Budweiser Ford.
Yes, he is. Remember Mark Martin at the top of the show, just how easy he was with the steering wheel. But now we see Jeff Gordon very slow. John Kernan, has Gordon got a problem?
Yeah, I just got the signal from one of the crewmen. They think it may be terminal. He had an overheating problem. Earlier in the race, he'd gotten into somebody and closed off some of the ductwood, so he wasn't getting a lot of air into the radiator. They've tried to fix that on the pit stops, but without a lot of caution, they haven't really had a chance to do that. So he's having an overheating problem. As he came by the pits, or came down the front stretch last time by, you could see steam coming out from the exhaust pipes.
Tough break for Jeff Gordon, who was running in 4th position.
Yeah, we noticed that last time he was in for a pit stop. There was some smoke that would not necessarily come out of the exhaust pipe doing so.
Yeah, that's the overflow we see there.
Yeah, major problem here at Darlington. Overheating. You could think on a super speedway, all that air, and they can get in them, that would not be a problem. But that rubber picks up and goes in your wheel. And folks, this is not a new problem here at Darlington. I won the 1965 Southern 500. By 14 laps, I might add. But you know that everybody had problems. And it was overheating problems. That was 25, almost 30 years ago. We had problems back then. Still the same problem today.
Yep. Can't really explain that. It's because the racing service is so abrasive. There are plans, however, to repave this track, and that should eliminate the problem.
It'll help it some. Yeah, definitely.
There's their leader, Dale Earnhardt. And I tell you what, he's losing ground to the 2nd place car off Dale Jarrett. Here comes Dale Jarrett, Bill Elliott. There's 4-second interval between 1st and 2nd. We'll keep track of this and just see what happens in a few laps.
And they're taking Jeff Gordon's car behind the wall as we show you this interval between 1st and 2nd. Dale Jarrett closing in on Dale Earnhardt.
I like it. Let's buy it.
But we just got married. We don't have any credit.
I'll approve your credit. I'm the Lone Ranger. I'll approve anybody's credit right here at the Used Car King. Come on, King, away. Good credit, bad credit, no credit, even bankruptcies. Used Car King says yes. Hi-ho, King, away. Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of The Lone Ranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
When Darrell Waltrip's at work, a tire problem could ruin his day.
Like you, I need the right tires at the right price. At Western Auto, we guarantee it. Western Auto's wide assortment of tires are at unbeatable low prices, and you can always count on Western Auto for mounting, balancing, and alignment 7 days a week.
When you buy tires from Western Auto, try them for 30 days or 1,000 miles, and if you're not satisfied, they'll exchange them.
The right tires, the right price. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Tommy Morrison's on the road back to a world championship, but unbeaten Brian Scott is looking to be the road block. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina for the Transouth Financial 400, which has 52 laps to go and is currently being led by Dale Earnhardt. Just ahead of him is Harry Gant, who is on the lead lap in 10th position.
Now Earnhardt's closing back in on Gant a little bit. Harry is awfully fast on new tires. He can run about 20-25 laps real strong. Then it starts to get away on him a little bit.
Here's the interval leaderboard showing you that Ricky Rudd, who is in 5th position, is 13 seconds back. We'll also tell you that Ken Schrader, who lost a lap when he came in for that stop-and-go penalty, has since gotten back on the lead lap and is now 9th.
And we see that Earnhardt is pulling away from Dale Jarrett right now. It's 4 seconds a moment ago. Now it's 4.6 seconds.
And John Kernan is with Jeff Gordon.
Well, Jeff Gordon has pulled his Chevrolet into the garage area, done for the day. A problem of overheating. We've mentioned this before about the tire, the rubber that gets built up on the grill, but you also had some of your ductwork knocked back in an incident earlier in the day.
Well, you know, we thought we learned the last time we were here, and we had an overheating problem, and you know, we put a better grill screen in it to prevent that, but it was pretty hot all day long. It ran hot and hot, and I ran something. There's a piece of debris on the racetrack, and I drove right into it. We thought that might help it, but I guess it hurt it, and you know, it ran like 250 for a long time, so my hat's still off to the guys back to Hendrick Motorsports engine shop. I mean, they did a good job, just didn't quite make it all the way to the end.
Well, Jeff Gordon still with a smile on his face. He can do that. He was running 4th today. And now let's go out to pit road, Dr. Jerry Punch.
You gotta love it when a plan comes together for Dale Earnhardt. He pitted on lap 221. Now, his car runs comfortably, not question the term comfortably, for 36 laps only on clean tires. Well, 221 was when he pitted. 293 is into the race. That is 72 laps. Half of that would be 36 laps. He will pit on lap 257 for his final scheduled pit stop and hopes to be able to nurse that car to victory lane 36 laps later.
And that is 11 laps from right now. He comes down and completes lap 246.
And what happened to Harry Gant? Harry Gant slowly.
I think he just moved over and let Dale Earnhardt go by. As we mentioned a moment ago, Harry's car is giving up after he runs hard for about 25 or 30 laps. And so he saw Earnhart coming up on him.
They told Ricky Rudd in the Tide Ford.
Running in 5th place, having himself a good run here today.
He is running in 5th position, and if he stays there, he'll give himself the first top 5 finish because he's the car owner.
Hey, how about that?
Now dropping back to the 27 car of Jimmy Spencer. He is running in 8th. There he is. The McDonald's Ford. Good day for Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, and he's pitting on the back stretch, and of course, green flag pit stops, that doesn't make any difference. But there were some early cautions, and he's hung right in there, stayed in the lead lap, and he's a good run.
As you can see, his starting position matches the number on the car, 27.
So see Kenny Schrader right behind Jimmy Spencer, and this will be for position. If Schrader can catch Jimmy and get by him, that will be for the 8th spot. There comes Schrader.
For both of Junior Johnson's cars in the top 10, Bill Elliott currently running 3rd in the Budweiser Ford. Jimmy Spencer running in the 8th position.
Schrader's having as good a day as he has had in many races.
Yeah, that car has been fast. Had it not been for that penalty, he would be.
He's now moved up to 8th. Spencer back to 9th.
But they're only a half a straightaway ahead of Dale Earnhardt. He's coming up. Don't know, he might be gaining on Spencer. He's not gaining on Schrader.
And we see our leader. And Ned, you're exactly right. Harry Gant just moved over to let Dale Earnhardt go a moment ago. He is back up to speed.
Here's a Napa field summary. We show you the entire rundown, not how they were running 5 or 6 or 7 laps ago, but just 1 lap ago. 9 cars on the lead lap.
And as we watch this, Dick Trickle is one of the back pits, the active trucking automobile.
The Burton brothers are 21st and 22nd.
We see Dick Trickle. He's 26 laps down, so he's been back there several times today, hasn't he?
That's right. Let's go around Greg Sachs down on the inside there.
Shepard is still running despite having encountered the wall a couple of times today. Rusty Wallace is still out there 75 laps behind, and so is Bobby Labonte, who's 128 laps behind. So Dale Earnhardt continues to set the pace here as the laps are winding down. Now 41 to go as he crosses the stripe. Pit stops will be necessary before this race is over. Back after this.
My folks are here. These Super 8 motel rooms are roomy.
At these prices, we'll never leave.
Super 8 motels, 1-800-800-8000. So affordable, so comfortable.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Introducing the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. The wet traction of an AquaTread, the performance of an Eagle. 2 aqua channels maximize acceleration, cornering, and braking traction. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
My Sports Center highlight goes like this. He hits a monster slap shot, but I catch it behind my back, Frisbee style. And everyone's so stunned, I start skating. My coach is yelling, go. Bob leaves giving me directions, but I'm the amazing skating goalie. And I score the winning goal. Wow. Which gets me a dance with Ty Babylonia. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
Dale Earnhardt leads the Transouth Financial 400. As a matter of fact, he has led 130 of the first 255 laps.
He'll have pit stops coming up here very shortly. Mark Martin has been running through the field. He just passed Dale Jarrett for second place here a little bit ago, and Ernie Irvin making what should be his final pit stop right now. We'll go bring the rest of the way.
He was running in 9th spot. And let's go to Jerry Punch for the call of, as you indicated, and his final pit stop, hopefully.
Well, Bob, it should be. They're going to take a half a round of 5 out. They put about 2 rounds in last time they stopped the cars. It's a little bit too out of kilter. They're going to change all 4 tires. They scrubbed that front grill section. And now they have the right side tires on. They scamper around on the left side. They will change left side tires. Meanwhile, everyone should be on pit road. Next lap by. Here's Bill Elliott, our pole sitter. You see him boasting. 18.8 seconds for Ernie Irvin. Here's Bill Elliott. Right side tires going on. And Elliott apparently has an overheating problem. They are squirting water now, trying to wash off some of the rubber and also trying to get some water to cool the radiator. Left side tires now going on. Mike Beam, Scott Beam, and the Budweiser crew. Elliott is down and away, and they try to run hurriedly and get the tires off the pit road because Dale Earnhardt should be coming coming down pit road next time by.
Harry Gant is on pit road toward the 4th turn side of pit road.
And Earnhardt is slowing down, ready to come in. As we watch the work on Harry Gant's Gold Bandit, he goes out. Dale Earnhardt will see him come into the picture. There he is right there. And headed down towards Jared Price.
And lap 258, there will be 35 laps to go if we stay green. That is about the window for the tires. And here comes the defending and 6-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt. Brings the car in, jams on the brakes, and slides at about 3 feet. The crew now cleaning the windshield. No debris in the front of the car. Their primary concern is to get every lug nut in position, get the car full of fuel. Left side tires now going on. Work continue here. Let's check in on the Dale Jarrett pit with John Turner.
The Jimmy Maycar-led crew working already on the left side. They'll make a chassis adjustment on the left rear. And the gas goes in. Tires on. Dale Jarrett is down and away.
Mark Martin will pull out ahead of him, however.
They came in together. Martin had already passed him on the racetrack, so they had similar pit stops about the same time, a little over 19 seconds for both of those drivers.
A little earlier, while all the activity of the pit area was going on, we had a little bit of a skirmish here at the start-finish line. There's Nemechek right up against the wall.
He had just come out of the pits not long ago. Passes Jimmy Spencer on the outside. Got a little bit of him as he went by. But Strickland really had to take evasive action as the 41 car of Joe Nemechek, the Mannheim, no, that's the Meineke Muffler car, about to spin out. Did a good job of holding on.
Nemechek looked like Steve Kinser going through that first turn on a dirt track.
As a matter of fact, I thought that's a caution flag that Earnhardt was really needing because he was still on the racetrack. Here comes Kenny Schrader to make his final pit stop.
He had taken over the lead as Earnhardt and the others came in, but now he comes in for his scheduled final pit stop. Ken Schrader.
And Ricky Rudd goes in the back pits with the tied Ford. There we see, there he comes out.
Michael Waltrip also on pit road in the back stretch. Now the left side tires being replaced on Schrader's car. The fuel is already in. He is back out there. 19.9 second pit stop for Kenny.
Looked like he went out on the speed limit that time. Very careful. You can't afford another one of those penalties.
Oh, I see the 10 car, Ricky Rudd, had been too fast on pit road. That was a stop-and-go penalty. That's why I saw it go in and then come right back out. So NASCAR black flagged in on stop-and-go.
That completed our pit sequence now, and Dale Earnhardt has really picked up the speed after the tire change, increasing from 148.5 to 155.6.
And there Ken Schrader is once again right in front of Earnhardt, trying to stay in the lead lap.
Schrader is 9th. There are 9 cars on the lead lap.
And Harry Gant as well. These guys have raced together for the last 40 or 50 laps.
Yep, they sure have.
So the laps now are down to 31 to go as Earnhardt continues to be the leader here in Darlington, trying for his 9th victory at this racetrack and his 6th in this particular event. Earnhardt leads Elliott, Martin, Jarrett, and Ernie Irvan after 262 laps.
Think you're ready for the new La Quinta Inns?
When you walk in, you experience a beautiful focal point of
a bas-relief fountain on the wall of cast stone with a lion head spewing water.
That's an architect's description for sure.
When you enter the La Quinta lobby, you're going to get a sense of some different zones.
Zones?
You're going to have the business zone.
I'd probably like to have that fountain.
And the dining zone is for, of course, the continental breakfast.
The new La Quinta. You're not staying at a hotel. You're staying with us. I'd like to take this lobby and stick it in my living room.
If you're looking for a reliable place to service your car or truck, I've got great news for you. It's a Pep Boys Automotive Super Center. No matter what you drive, their ASC certified technicians are here when you need them, day or night, even on Sunday. Or Raybestos brakes, TRW rack and pinion repair, diagnostic tune-ups, even air conditioning. For dealer quality service at prices you can afford, come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
ESPN Speed World from Darlington, being brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Well, coming up next here on ESPN, well, you tell me what's coming up, okay? After our coverage of the race, we'll have some NASCAR features for you, and then at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Shop Talk, a special 1-hour edition featuring Dale Earnhardt. That's at 5 o'clock Eastern Time after our coverage of the Transouth Financial 400. And here is the battle for second between Elliott and Martin.
And this is a great battle. They were side by side going into the third corner. And for the first time today, the guy on the outside did not back off. Elliott did not back off. And Mark couldn't get by him.
Mark has come up on it pretty quickly, though. There he goes down on the inside in turns 1 and 2. He might have the advantage this time. Yep. Gets that Valvoline Ford right out in front of the Budweiser Ford and moves on by.
Bill Elliott having a very good run here today, though. He was our pole sitter with a brand new track record and has run up front most of the day in third position at the moment, with Jarrett and Irvin 4th and 5th.
Lake Speed is 6th, right on Ernie Irvin's back bumper. See there where your favorite drivers are.
There's the battle for 5th. And look, Lake Speed is right on the back bumper of Ernie Irvin.
Dale Jarrett is 4th. This is the battle for 5th spot. Lake Speed looking to the inside of Ernie, coming off the second corner.
Ernie goes up. Here comes Lake on the inside. He got him. Took that spot away.
Nice move by Lake.
Quality care. Car number 15. Lake is a former renter here, so is Bud Moore, who owns the Quality Care Ford.
Yeah, Lake won this race, of course, back in 1988 for his first and only so far NASCAR Winston Cup victory. And the serial shows that, or the snapshot rather, shows that he started 35th. That was his lowest position. His highest was 3rd on lap 224. He is currently 5th.
Tell you what, that's pretty good charge. Those spots. Qualifying is so difficult today. Here's a great race car that qualified 35th.
Especially when you're only getting 1 lap. You know, you got to make it count.
There's good race cars that went home, was not able to race, so. This Lake was fortunate he was named in 35th.
Dale Earnhardt, if he continues and wins this race, will of course pick up some points on the leader, the points leader, Ernie Irvin. If points were awarded right now, Earnhardt would move into 2nd position over Mark Martin and be 81 laps, or rather 81 points behind. The interval on the racetrack is 6.2, the difference between Earnhardt and Martin.
Bill Elliott's about a half a second behind Mark Martin.
Derry Cope and Hut Strickland running together. Now Earnhardt comes up on some slower traffic. Now Kyle Petty, of course, of the mellow yellow Pontiac, and the 27 car of Spencer is slow. He will bring it on the pit road on the back stretch.
Jimmy was running in the 10th position, 1 lap down before this pit stop.
They don't appear to be in any hurry to get out there and get that car back in the race. In fact, the hood pins are being loosened and the hood's going up.
Then someone asked me the other day the question, why are so many engines failing today? In Atlanta, I think 9 cars fell in the race with the engine problems, and we've seen quite a bit of engine problems today. Is it RPMs? The cars turning too many RPMs?
They're turning them a lot. There's no doubt about it. They're turning upwards of 9,000 RPMs. I'll tell you that might be borderline.
I mean, 10 years ago, the number was about 7,200, 7,300 that they turned these engines. And today, as Ned said, 9,000 almost RPM. So I guess that's the answer. There's too many RPMs.
Earnhardt having no problems whatsoever, at least at this point, and he has come to within 18 laps of another victory. While we have settled this race down here in the last few laps, we're going to jump inside the Bill Elliott car, who is currently in 3rd position, and take a ride with him.
There he goes.
Heading into turn 3. There's a lot of cars up there in front of him.
Let's see what kind of RPMs he turns. He's going through the corner at 7,000. That's the most we used to turn back in 1981. 7,800. 79, 83, 84, 8,400 I saw.
And that's when he has new tires on that car. He's probably running 8,800, 87 or 8,800.
You see down the back straightaway, that's not quite as fast because you got to go through that small corner. 1 and 2, that turn's a little bit smaller than 3 and 4, so you don't build as much speed up down the back straightaway as you do the front straightaway.
Now let's compare that with Derek Cope.
Right behind Nicky Rudd is the Fingerhut Ford.
He's in 16th position, 3 laps down.
173 miles an hour down the back straightaway.
At about 8,100 RPM.
I've got a little higher gear in it than does Bill Elliott.
Down the front straightaway, we'll see what kind of RPMs he gets.
About 82.
82, I saw.
Yep.
That could be 2 teams. Not as many RPMs as Bill Elliott. Could be a higher gear, or even not running as fast on the racetrack. And it could be both.
And they're running together.
Yeah, we'll find out how it runs in comparison to Bill Elliott on the racetrack. Elliott is definitely running faster.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you close that gap so quickly?
He says, thank you very much to Derek Cope as he goes by.
Got up to 8,200 that time, but he didn't have the run off of turn 4 as a result of passing Derek Cope that he had when we saw him up to 8,400 RPM.
With about a 7.5-second lead over 2nd place Mark Martin. In 3rd position is Bill Elliott, 9.2 seconds behind. Then comes Dale Jarrett at 11.7, and Lake Speed 19.7 seconds behind.
A soft drink is not a magic potion, a status symbol, or a badge that says who I am. It will not make me popular.
Wanna hang?
It will not make me run faster or jump higher. It will not make me more attractive to the opposite sex, though I wish it would.
You're beautiful.
If I need a badge, I'll become a security guard. If I need a refreshing drink, I'll obey my thirst. Image is nothing. Thirst is everything. Sprite.
Introducing the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. The wet traction of an AquaTread, the performance of an Eagle. 2 Aqua channels maximize acceleration, cornering, and braking traction. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Athlete's Foot. Every year, over 28 million Americans get it. Try NP27. Its doctor-recommended ingredient stops burning and itching fast. NP27. Nothing's a better cure for Athlete's Foot.
This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders. This could be your thigh. This could be your stomach. This could be your back. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
There are 10 laps to go in the NASCAR Winston Cup Transouth Financial 400 from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. That is being led by Dale Earnhardt. En route to what appears to be his first victory of 1994, just as it was in 1993. Now, stick around. We got a lot to do in the next hour, and then at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, in just about 1 hour from now, Dale Earnhardt will be the featured guest on Shop Talk. 1 hour edition, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. here on ESPN.
Hey, what, Earnhardt, that car has run so well today. Earnhardt has done a great job driving that car today.
Been very smooth with it, kept it out of trouble. Knew he had a good race car, has driven it well. Rack up that first win of the year.
And his first win in 17 races.
Going in the third corner, Ted Musgrave just passed Ricky Rudd, or Harry Ginn actually, for the 7th spot.
Now 7 laps to go for Earnhardt on this 1.366 mile racetrack.
Has not missed a beat. Childers, Andy Petrie, the entire crew has done a great job. And we want to say hello to Will Lynn back in Welcome, North Carolina. You know, used to be the rear tire changer on his 3 cars. Decided this year that he would stay home on some Sundays with his family. And Will, you're missed.
But they still got along okay without him because they made some great pit stops. I mean, not, you know, Will, they trained him well.
That's right. That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. They I miss you. They don't miss you at all.
Earnhardt still turning laps in excess of 148 miles an hour.
Is that Lake Speed's car on the bottom of the racetrack? No,
that's Rich Bickle. Musgrave trying to get a lap back, and in doing so,
wow.
He is now 1 lap down in 10th position.
He had that extra pit stop that we saw there a little earlier.
And then that was incorrect when I said he passed Harry Gant for position. That was not for position.
Right. And is 8th, 1 lap down.
Right now we've got a great race going on for 3rd place between, no, I keep getting confused around you. I'm sorry.
Well, it's getting late. Believe me, if there were a race out there someplace, we'd be showing it to you. That's why we're following Earnhardt around in his trek to victory here.
Just got 4 laps to go. We'll be able to talk to Dale Earnhardt until find out how he did it.
This will be his incredible 6th victory in this race. At Darlington. Only 3 laps to go.
I'm sure he's looking at Doyle Ford and said, can't you just eliminate the next one? Wave the white flag the next time by?
Just throw the flag. Let's get this over with.
A straightaway lead on Mark Martin. Maybe a little bit more than that. 2 laps to go.
We'll show you who's still out there. Petty and Martin.
Rudd.
There's Elliott. Michael Waltrip.
Gordon Shepard.
Waltrip, Darrell Waltrip still out there. 27. Cars there.
There's Brad Teague, Jimmy Hensley, and there goes Ernie Irvin.
Yeah, there's Rusty Wallace with a lot of the sheet metal missing. Schrader.
White flag for Dale Earnhardt.
1 to go. And the fans here on the main straightaway at least are on their feet waving their black GM Goodrich hats and saluting the champion of the Transouth Financial 400 for 1994. His 60th career win in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, still ranked 6th in all-time victories. Here is Dale Earnhardt taking the checkered flag and winning the Transouth Financial 400. Cecil Gordon and the other members of the Dale Earnhardt crew celebrate, and now will be making their way to victory lane. And Dale Earnhardt salutes the fans as they salute him on the backstretch in front of the red Tyler Tower. Here's Jerry Punch.
And David Smith and the crew come over and congratulate Andy Beecher. Andy, congratulations. This was a tough one, and the crew chief was real critical today.
Well, I tell you, the whole crew was critical today. You know, we changed a lot of tires today. Tire wear was a problem. You know, the track's getting pretty rough, but, you know, we did a good job. I can't say enough about the job Dale did. You know, very disciplined out there today, and, you know, we were due. We've been in a little bit of a slump. Feels good, I'll tell you this. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank, you know, our sponsors and all these people, but I want to remember Neil Bonnet. You know, this is the first race we've won since we've lost Neil, and I want to take this time to remember Neil because he was really a true friend of ours, and I just want to dedicate this race to him.
Andy Petrie, the crew chief, and the entire crew echoes that sentiment. I guarantee you it will be a very emotional victory lane. Bob?
You know, Andy said that they've been in a bit of a slump. Yeah, you kind of think that when you think of the season that Dale Earnhardt has had so far, but that's really not true. This is his 4th top 10 finish in the first 5 races of 1994 and his first victory.
Bob, they don't count top 10s. They count
wins, don't
That's
they?
Right.
They have come through today with a victory, and he has also, as we indicated, tightened the points battle.
Earnhardt trying to weed his way through the well-wishers. Trying to find victory lane. It's down there someplace, Dale.
Yeah, he knows where it is. He's been there.
Now he's approaching it. Members of the crew are already there, and he pulls in to victory circle here at Darlington for the 9th time in his career. He is ready to get out of there.
Man, oh man, he was ready, wasn't he?
He was unbuckled with a helmet off and ready to get out. All right, let's go to victory lane.
And he leaps out of the car almost before he gets stopped. It's been that kind of day. A big smile. Congratulations, Dale.
Well, it was just 400 miles.
Just 400 miles. Hey, this is a sprint race, 400 miles. What an effort, you and the entire crew.
Yeah, I got to hand it to Andy and all the GM crew for that matter. The engine guys did a great job, but me and Andy was guessing about chassis before the race and made 2 changes. And it worked for us. The car was neutral and loose all day, but it saved him right side tires, and I feel like that was the key to winning. We really ran a good hard pace, or I say hard pace, hard as I wanted to go. Somebody wanted to run harder, I let them run harder. But I got to thank Terry Jones, his mom. She come by today and give me a big old kiss that we'd win a race today, so thanks for that.
Dale, late in the race, it looked like Harry Gant went by you and ran a few laps and then pulled down to let you go back by. He want to run a little harder than what you wanted to run?
Well, he did, and that's one of them deals. I just, you know, I didn't want to let anybody intimidate me into going any harder than I wanted to, and I wanted to run my race.
Big kiss there from Teresa and Taylor as they get in here. Just slide in here beside the winning.
Yeah, deals, if you didn't pace yourself and you didn't run your race that you wanted, you wouldn't be having tires, and you'd use your tires up pretty quick. The road racetrack's still too tough to tame, and she's rough and she's black and she's mean, so we just took it easy and respected her all day, and she's good to us.
Yesterday in the last session, a lot of drivers very concerned about the right front tire. What was the key to making this car work all day with the tires giving up like they were?
I think getting the car neutral to work neutral and go with that, and you know, it's just a good neutral race car. It wasn't pushing, it was a little on the loose side, and I think that was key. I think that's what Rusty's car looked like to me, so it was a good day for us. I'd like to dedicate this old win to my buddy Neil Bonnet and think about Susan and all the family. Really, we miss him tremendously. We'll miss him more every day.
Indeed they will. Susan, Kristen, and David watching back in Bessemer, Alabama. A dedicated win to Daddy Neil. Another big kiss there from Daddy to Taylor, and let's check in with John Kernan, who's standing by with a very, very tired Mark Martin.
Well, Mark, you know, Dale Earnhardt just told Jerry Punch, hey, it was only 400 miles. He paced himself. What about you?
We did. That's all we had from lap 1 to lap 294. I mean, that was our guts hanging out every inch. He just blew us away. But it's a good run for us, you know. There were times when we could catch on him. He probably wasn't running as hard as I was, though. But I guess we had everybody else covered. It was a great effort for the Valvoline team. Great Goodyear tires, and that Ford ran good of ours, but just didn't have enough for Earnhardt. Just we'll get them next week.
It really was a battle in the pits, too, because of all the tires that the teams had to change, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, the philosophy didn't work out for us. our car went better on long runs. If Earnhardt had chose not to make that last stop, I could have beat him, I believe. We were gaining on him big time. We had less laps on our tires, and we could go all the way on gas. But we really couldn't afford to take a chance on staying out. Although I'd like to have seen what would have happened. You know, let them get their tires and us stay out and just ride around slow on wore-out tires. I don't know if they could have made it back or not, but they chose to do that, and it was a good... our chassis setup was conservative today to be easy on the right front tire, and we didn't have any trouble, you know, so we'll race harder next week.
I don't know if this guy could race any harder, or I don't know if he could be any more tired than he is right now. Guys, whenever he got out of the car, he dumped about one of these big old things of ice water all over his head. But Mark looks like he's okay now. Bob?
Second place finisher here this afternoon, Mark Martin. Well, Dale Earnhardt wins the race here this afternoon, and don't forget, at 5 o'clock, in about 48 minutes from right now, you can join him at a tremendous interview and have the opportunity to buy some merchandise from Dale Earnhardt on Shop Talk. That's at 5 o'clock. We've got a lot of time to fill, and we will do it. We'll begin to fill it when we come back at Darlington. Earnhardt wins over Martin and Elliott.
Get ready! DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track. DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track, has something for you every Saturday night. And it's awesome. Late model sportsman, open wheel modified, straight stocks, modified minis, pure stock minis, and a limited schedule of pro figure eight. Always free parking and great food at DeSoto Speedway.
Don't miss Saturday, March 26th for DeSoto Thunder, featuring super late models and twin 50s at DeSoto Speedway.
I'm bankrupt. Don't have any credit.
Here, I'll approve your credit. I'll sign it with my silver pen.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Come on, King. I'm the Lone Arranger for the Used Car King. Good credit, bad credit, no credit at all, even bankruptcy. I'll approve your credit right here at the Used Car King. Hi-ho, King. Away. Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of the Lone Arranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
You know, Buffalo's pretty famous for its wings, but, you know, we got some pretty good centers, too, eh?
A? You like the A?
Now, let's do it again.
We welcome you back to Darlington, where the unofficial results show us that Earnhardt beat Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Lake Speed. And Jerry Punch is with our fourth place finisher.
And he's sitting here leaning against these Unical pumps. You think these guys don't give 100% in 400 miles? Dale Jarrett, congratulations. You came early and came hard, but not quite enough.
Yeah, I didn't have quite enough, but the Interstate Battery Chevrolet worked good today, and you know, this is what we need, kind of a shot in the arm to get back running again. We needed a good finish. I thought about the middle of the race, I really had something for them, but we could never get this car adjusted in the middle. We were tight at first, then we got that out of it, but it got loose, and we never did get it tightened back up. And the last set of tires, I thought I could really go, and they were really loose from the start, so I had to just hang on.
You had a near miss early in the race. Now, Rusty says he had absolutely no warning when he slapped the wall, but you got a little bit of a warning when your car had a problem with the tire.
Yeah, the right front went out, and I'd run the car pretty hard on that set. That's when I started off third, and I really went hard, and just before I got to turn one, it vibrated, and I backed off and got on the brake a little bit, thinking I might have a problem, and sure enough, the right front was gone. But Goodyear did a good job. You know, we had a good tire. It could be fast, and it could go as long as we needed it to go there. You know, we didn't need to be running any more than that anyway, and so we had to come in and get tires, so our hats are off to them. And, yeah, it was a challenging race from a lot of ways. It's really mentally hard on the driver to think about not going as hard as you can really go. You had to kind of change your line at first, so it was difficult, but a lot of fun.
Now, folks, yesterday, this young man took one whale of a lick into the concrete wall in the International Race of Champions race. Now, his dad, Ned, has been worried all day, although he did his job on the air, didn't say a word. This young man is black and blue and awfully sore. And rather than me asking you how you're feeling, let me let your dad ask you. Put the headset on you here. And we'll let Ned talk to his son. Here, Ned.
Well, Dale, we are happy to see you sitting there smiling, and congratulations on your first top 5 of the year. But how are you feeling? We talked about it this morning. You said you were a little sore. How you doing?
Well, I'm still sore. I'm hurting, but yeah, you just have to put that out of your mind. My neck got sore really about the last 30 laps of the race. You know, it puts a lot of strain on it there. But you just have to to forget about that, I tightened my neck strap and said we've only got 30 to go. And the guys had done such a good job in giving me a good car and getting me in and out of the pits, I didn't want to let them down.
Now, Benny Parsons, you play a little golf. Dale went out last week, shot a 39 on the front, 32 on the back.
Whoa.
How's that going to affect your golf swing now?
I can tell the guys at Catawba Country Club I probably won't see them for a little while. I'm too sore for that.
32.
I got lucky, yeah, really lucky.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you play the golf.
Well, congratulations. Maybe things have turned around for you now for 1994.
We hope so. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Congratulations on a great fourth-place finish, and he picks up 5 positions in points and moves up to 18th. So he is on his way to a better standing in the NASCAR Winston Cup points for 94.
You know, guys, look on pit road. See all those tires stacked on pit road down there? Wonder what they're doing there? There's a guy that has a business. He takes care of those tires.
Oh, yeah?
He picks them up. He takes them back home. He dismounts all those tires, gets rid of the tires, brings the wheels back to the next race. I mean, there's Kenny Schrader, Rick Hendricks teams don't even fool with their tires. Some guy comes along, picks all these tires up, takes them back to Concord, and he'll take the wheels to Bristol and have Goodyear mount the tires.
Okay, thank you. There was a good battle right at the end between Lake Speed and Dale Jarrett as they came down in the battle for 4th position, and Lake was right behind Dale when the checker came out. Lake with a final last-second move wasn't quite enough. John Kernan is with Lake.
Well, Lake, we were just watching, tried the last-second move, not quite enough. What were you trying to do? Did it just not grab for you, or what?
Well, the tires were pretty worn by then at that time, and we're slipping and sliding. And I've been riding along there after I got in front of the 28, got a pretty good lead on it. And the guy said, well, just be careful. Bud told me, said, hey, man, you're getting mighty close to that wall coming over there. And why don't you just ease up a little bit? So I did. Then all of a sudden, Donnie came on the radio and he said, that 18 is really backing up fast. I looked up and saw him up there, and, man, I stood in the gas in, and there I started coming. But I was probably overdriving the car and slipping and sliding a little more than I needed to. We were gathering a lot of real estate. But at the same time, I didn't want to lose it all, trying to get greedy and get one more, you know. But the Ford Quality Care car was really coming on strong there late in the race, and the guys did a great job for me. And I just thank the good Lord that we stayed out all them wrecks. And I came pretty close. Got me a new Darlington stripe. First time I got one of those in a while down here. But all in all, it was a great race for us.
I would say starting, you said 35th. You finished 5th. That's moving up 30 spots. I mean, all of a sudden, it's like Jimmy Maycar came over and told you after the race was over, he said, here comes the 15 car. Where did he come from?
Well, the back of the field. We were really working hard on this qualifying effort, seeing if we can't get ourselves up front a little bit better. I think I just got to get used to these sticky tires. I do better. I've been doing better on the slipping and sliding conditions. I need to get where we can really go and then got a lot of grip.
Now, because you were on the backstretch over there, we didn't get to see a lot of the backstretch pit work, but you guys must have had some really great pit stops today.
You got to remember who set the world record in that pit crew contest a few years ago. It was my crew. Rusty's crew just beat it last year.
That's exactly right. Lake Speed, a very fine finish on the same track that, about 6 years ago that you won your first Winston Cup race. I know you'd like to have another one.
It was March 27th, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I guess it is 6 years ago. Bob?
All right, and it's his first top 5 finish since 1989 at Sears Point, and he picks up a great number of positions in the points, going from 10th to 6th. We have a lot more for you from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina at the conclusion of the Transouth Financial 400 won by Dale Earnhardt.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are the kind of people who like to work on their cars themselves. That way they save money and they know the work's done right. Of course, when they come to AutoZone, they know they're going to find the right part for the right price. But sometimes what they're looking for is just a little advice. And that's okay, because we don't put a price tag on it. You see, at AutoZone, we take pride in taking care of our customers. And we've learned that when you treat folks right, they keep coming back.
This is the award-winning Goodyear AquaTread with its deep groove aqua channel. And this is the new Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. A wider performance tire with 2 aqua channels to sweep water away. Now you get the wet traction of a Goodyear AquaTread and the performance of a Goodyear Eagle. One good turn deserves another. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
I was just talking to Liz and Michael, and they say they're going to watch. Yeah, it's gonna be big. Everyone's gonna be there. You should come too.
Top Rank Boxing. Tommy Morrison's on the road back to a world championship, but unbeaten Brian Scott is looking to be the road block. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
Once again, the top 5 finishers here at Darlington: Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Lake Speed. Bill Elliott began this race from the pole position and was the only driver eligible for $76,000 in Unocal bonus money. Came up a couple of positions short. Here's Jerry.
Indeed he did, Bob, but we told you at the beginning of the day that it was a good chance that Awesome Bill would be back, and indeed he is. I mean, what a great run today, Bill. You had to hang on, a pole, got a good top 5 finish, got to feel good about it.
Well, we really do. I think starting up front really helped, and the guys really did a fantastic job getting me in and out of the pits all day long. I'll tell you what, it was a grueling 400-mile race, and I'll tell you what, I really feel it right now. It was as tough a 400-mile race as I've ever sat in, and you know, regardless of what happened, it seemed like tires were so critical all day long, and you know, we fought it all day long. The car would be one way, then it'd be the other way. But yeah, we did the best we could, and we had a good finish, and I think it gives us some momentum going into Bristol.
What kind of questions go through your head? I know we saw Dale Jarrett exhausted, Mark Martin exhausted up at the fuel pumps. Does it put a lot of mental pressure on you when the crew says, hey, the guys, you got to save those tires?
Well, it does, but you know, you just got to do what you can do and run as hard as you can run, because we knew, you know, we tried to short stop it there at the end, and you know, we felt like it. I felt like Mark probably run just a few laps, and that probably helped him gain second place. But you know, we all run a heck of a race, and you know, the car slipped and slid all day long.
Talk about dodging a bullet. 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, you dodged debris that came through the windshield, and you got to feel that maybe your luck was changing.
Well, I hope so. We ended up falling out of the race, but you know, like I said, we came here and we had a good day, and we can see light at the end of the tunnel.
Bill, good luck to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bill Elliott, 8-time most popular driver, and you can tell he's smiling, and so is the entire Budweiser crew. They're all in there.
Well, Jerry, it was the 17th top 5 finish here at Darlington and the first top 5 of the year, and he goes from 22nd to 15th in the points. We're waiting on Ernie Irvin. He's changing his clothes, so we'll be able to get him in just a few moments. Meanwhile, we will again run down how they finished here this afternoon, showing you 6 through 10. Irvin was 6th, followed by Schrader, Gant, Rudd, and Musgrave.
Kyle Petty, 11th. Chuck Bound, Jimmy Hensley, Steve Grissom. I guess that's the top finishing rookie today. Michael Waltrip is 15th.
16th through 20th, Derek Cope, Hut Strickland, Mike Wallace. In the Junior Donlevy car, Joe Nemechek and Jeff Burton.
Burton, of course, had trouble right at the start of the race, but came back to finish in 20th position. His brother was 21st. Todd Bodine, the provisional starter, 22nd. Then Rich Bickle, Brad Teague, and Bobby Hamilton.
And 26th to 30th, Darrell Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, Dave Marcus, Dick Trickle, and Greg Sachs.
Now, most of these cars had problems and were either out of the race or had been behind the wall a long time. Jeff Gordon finishing 31st, Morgan Shepherd 32nd, Rusty Wallace managed a 33rd position finish after spending 75 laps in the garage area, and Sterling Marlin 34th, and Terry Labonte 35th.
And completing the rundown, Brett Odine was 36 after losing an engine. Rick Mast 37th. John Andretti also had engine problems. Bobby Labonte, Jeff Bodine 39th and 40th, and finishing in 41st position was Wally Dallenbach. A lot more to go. We'll try to talk to Ernie Irvin and more post-race activity here at Darlington in the Transouth Financial 400. We'll be right back.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
This is the award-winning Goodyear AquaTread with its deep groove aqua channel. And this is the new Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. A wider performance tire with 2 aqua channels to sweep water away. Now you get the wet traction of a Goodyear AquaTread and the performance of a Goodyear Eagle. One good turn deserves another. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
NASCAR fans, Sunday, April 17th is a date you want to remember. The NASCAR Race for Savings coupon supplement is coming directly to your newspaper. It will be jam full of NASCAR Race for Savings coupons, sponsor products, special coupons, limited edition collector's gifts, and much more. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings coupons can be found in the coupon supplement section of your newspaper. It will happen only one time this year, so don't miss out. Sunday, April 17th, the NASCAR Race for Savings is headed directly to you.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
He comes right in front of car number
This is what it looked like last year in the Coca-Cola 600. We have 3 hours before this year's race gets underway, and Humpy Wheeler has another great pre-race show for us.
And we're lucky enough to bring it to you live on the air. I want to remind you all that this year's Grand Marshal honorary starter is the legendary Bandit.
Wonder how the Bandit feels about being a marshal, grand or otherwise.
I'll tell you this, there's at least a couple of drivers that's breathing a sigh of relief that he's started the race, not running.
The only reason he's not running is there are no police cars involved.
That's what they say. We have the lovely Miss Coca-Cola 600 here this year. Ned, have you seen this year's Miss Coca-Cola 600?
Oh, no. My cardiologist has determined that would be harmful to my health.
Well, she may be hard on the heart, but she's good on the eyes.
What in the world was that? Are you guys movie stars again?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. That's the latest effort from
Hal
Needham?
Yeah. Some of the Bandit series, I think.
Well, we'll be sure to miss that one. I mean, we'll be sure to see that one. Co-starring Ned and Benny.
But I didn't get to see Miss Coca-Cola 600. We did out, Ned and I did that, and that was the end of it.
Oh,
So
boy.
I guess let's see the movie, Ned, so we
Yeah,
can see.
I look forward to that.
Miss Coca-Cola 600.
Sixth place finisher is Ernie Irvin. He's with John Kernan.
Well, comment about the Bandit series. I have seen one of those. I think the first one, it wasn't the one you guys were in, so maybe I will watch the next one if we can get that. They were talking Benny and Ned, movie stars. But let's talk about the race today. Sixth place finish, first time out of the top 5. Got to be disappointing, huh?
Well, it is, you know. It really is, but, you know, I guess if you think a sixth is real disappointing, I guess, you know, yeah, I mean, it's still a good run. You know, the Texaco Avalon Ford ran good all day, but you know, just had some problems. We had a jack fell on the pit road. That cost us about, you know, 3 or 4 extra seconds, and then we got held for too many men over the wall, and don't know how they figured out, but they did, and so we took it, and that cost us another 15 seconds, and once you know it, the next pit stop I missed pit road. I come in too fast and missed pit road, so that cost us 7, 8 seconds, who knows how many. So in turn, it put me back there racing for 6th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and should have been up there racing for 3rd or 4th. But, you know, we didn't have a car that was going to win today, and, you know, Dale had an awful good day today, and he hadn't won in a while, so I guess in just a little while you'll be able to buy some souvenirs from him in Shop Talk. So, yeah. So mine will be next week after Bristol, so plan on winning Bristol, that way we can talk about my win.
You know, you sound kind of like you're a little bit tired. Earnhart was telling Jerry in Victory Lane, hey, it was only 400 miles, but how taxing was it out there?
Well, you know, our car was pretty hot inside. We didn't open up very much, and you know, it's just one of them deals where you slip and slide a lot here at Darlington, and our speeds were a lot faster than normal, so that put more pressure on the drivers, and you know, then the added pressure of the tire failures, and you know, we were real close to those a couple times, but you know, we're fortunate our Goodyear Eagles held up good.
That's Ernie Irvin with a 6th place finish, Bob.
And he is still the only driver to finish in the top 10 for every race so far this year. There's a shot of Victory Lane as Dale Earnhardt is still receiving the applause and the laudits. And remember, he will be the guest on Shop Talk coming up next here on ESPN. Shop Talk coming up here on ESPN in just a few moments. We'll be right back.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. Threats that can shorten its life. Corrosion, oxidation, acids. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that actually senses changes in the driving environment and adapts its own molecular structure instantly. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. if the traffic congestion changes. So does Quaker State. If the terrain or altitude changes, so does Quaker State. Quaker State virtually thinks for itself to protect your engine, whatever the conditions, so your engine lasts longer. Quaker State. The intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
Hey, Mom, I just got here. No, Super 8 isn't mad I'm late. I've got their VIP card. They'll hold my room and give me a 10% discount. What are you going to do for me?
With a VIP card, guarantee your room and save 10% at all Super 8s nationwide.
A ranger knows the forest. A flyer knows the air. But no one knows who's going to win this game. The New York Rangers versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Tuesday at 7:30. NHL on ESPN2.
I was just talking to Liz and Michael, and they say they're gonna watch. Yeah, it's gonna be big. Everyone's gonna be there. You should come too.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, the Transouth Financial 400 has been won by Dale Earnhardt. The 10th and 12th place finishers, Ted Musgrave and Chuck Bound, with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And the reason both these drivers are smiling is because it's their best finish of the year, and what a tough place to get a great finish here. Left of your screen, Chuck Bound, the right, Ted Musgrave. And Ted, let me ask you first. Everyone seems to be so exhausted. You stand here so crisp and clean with your Family Channel dress shirt on, and you could have gone probably 200 more miles.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm wore out. Darlington don't wear anybody out, but the car was handling so good that I didn't have to drive as hard as a lot of guys. But hey, how about that crew? Them pit stops are awesome. We got up to 5th. It just had a couple bad times in the pits where the gun broke and had a flat tire, got us down, but we came back. That car's capable of winning.
After being about 3 laps down, you finished a lap down in 10th place. Howard and the guys really did a heck of a job. This team is coming together.
That's true. You know, they practiced pit stops there last week, and they were in a 16-second bracket, and like I say, they're doing awesome. It just we had a gun fail one time, which is nobody's fault, and had a tire go flat on us right when we got into turn 4, and under green had to stop again, got us laps down, but I'll tell you, that car came right on back.
Well, the weather grounded the Family Channel blimp today, but there was no weather problems for your car. Congratulations on the top 10 finish.
Thanks. I'd just like to say hi to my brother back home, Tom, and hope he's doing good. I know he's been in the hospital and been home for 4 months now, but I hope he's doing better.
That's Ted Musgrave, finishes 10th. And the man who finished 12th, Chuck Bound. Talk about close calls. Remember early in the race, coming out of turn 4, you got a tap and headed for the concrete and somehow managed to save it. What happened?
Well, I was kind of lucky, yeah. The 22 car got into me in turn 4. At the time, I was starting to get a little loose, and he just bumped me and it turned me sideways, and he slipped by on the inside, and as I was trying to straighten mine up, we rubbed again, and it straightened me up, and he ended up in the fence, so it was just kind of a bad break. One of those situations, I thought we were going to be done early, but it didn't mess the car up. We were able to continue on and run the rest of the race.
Talk about a team that's impressed some people here this week. You qualified at a great qualifying effort in 4th, and you get a 12th place finish, your best of the season. I mean, Bobby Allison, Jimmy Finnick, this whole crew is really working hard to get this thing together.
Yeah, it's a bunch of great guys, a lot of potential here. We're still looking to put a full-time sponsor on the side of the car, but the sponsor of the week this week's Lumberton, Lincoln, Ford, Mercury, and also Crown Fiber. But you know, we're going to get better. I've been qualifying good. I'm still learning how to make it handle good for 500 miles, or as today, 400 miles. But I think that, you know, I'm learning a lot, and I'm looking forward to all these races coming up. And I'd like to say hello to Bob Bilby. He's been a little under the weather, and we miss you. Get back to the races, man.
So if you need a couple of $1 million to try to run the rest of the year, see if Ned gives a million and Benny gives $1 million, then you guys will be set.
There you go. That sounds great. Let's talk to him.
Yeah, they put Ned and Benny on the side of the car, right, Jerry?
They put Ned and Benny's Ford on the side of the car. I guarantee you, Bobby, we put it out there. Congratulations, Chuck, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Only in our dreams is $1 million.
Here's John.
How can I follow Richard? How they're talking about Benny and Ned are going to get on Chuck Bound's car, giving up $1 million. What do you think about that?
I don't know. That'd be pretty tough, wouldn't it? I'd like to see that.
Ned and Benny's car. Hey, they'll take you in as a partner too.
Yeah, you know, those guys, you know, they run good, and Chuck, that whole team, they really need a sponsor. I'd love to see somebody jump in there and help them. Bobby Allison, he's a great guy. They could sure use a help.
Now let's talk about your team. You guys, Dale said he paced himself today. After the practices yesterday and you saw the problems that you would have with the tires and the camber and the air pressure, what was the strategy yesterday? What did you and Andy Petrie and Dale Earnhardt talk about to be able to run the race as well and as consistently as you did today?
Well, you know, Andy and Dale talked last night. We talked yesterday evening on it. We met again this morning and just put together our strategy, kind of what we wanted to do, and kind of hoped it fell our way, and it did. You know, we knew about how far we could go after the second stop, and you know, Goodyear built a great tire. The thing about it is, you know, you gotta, when you're competitive, you've got to go for it, and that's what everybody was doing. And you know, I'm just proud that it was a good, safe race for everybody. And you know, our team, we really needed this win. You know, we got so many fans out there, and thank you, fans, for supporting us through the weak times here. But you know, I just feel good for us and the fans that stuck with us through this kind of a dry spell.
You know, you guys, the competition is so stiff, and you talked about trying to find an edge. Now, you don't want to give up the safety factor, but, I mean, how do you balance that fine line between safety and going as fast as you can?
Well, you know, it's tough in competition. Anytime it's competition in anything, you've just got to let it all hang out to win. And you know, it's the same with the tire companies. You know, they're both out doing everything they can and it's a competitive deal for them. So, you know, I don't like the tire war, you know, and I don't think it's a place for two tire companies in our sport. But, you know, they're here, and, you know, we're going to stick with Goodyear and race them as hard as we can.
Let's talk about the points. Going for that, or Dale is going for his 7th championship to tie Richard Petty. How much of an emphasis is that on this race team?
Well, you know, we gear for winning championships, and we do a lot of things sometimes that people say, well, you know, you could pull more gear, you could do this or that, but, you know, we've kind of had this strategy, and it's worked for several years, and when it becomes we're not competitive that way, then we'll have to do something else.
That's Richard Childress. A win today. He said glad to get the long dry spell over, but hey, you guys won the championship last year, and they're looking forward to another tough battle down the wire this year, guys.
And as we indicated, his first win last year was at this race, so he could very well be on a championship pace again this year. Let's take a look at the point standings, and man, they really changed today. Ernie Irvan remains on top, tied for second with 779 points apiece. Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt. Ken Schrader moved up 5 positions to 4th. Ricky Rudd moved up 3 positions to 5th. Then 6 through 10, Lake Speed is now in 6th. He's up 4 positions. Morgan Shepherd dropped 3 positions to 7th. Sterling Marlin lost 2 down to 8th. Jeff Gordon lost 2 to 9th. And Terry Labonte, a big loser on the day, he fell from 5th position in the point standings down to 10th. Well, we'll be back with more from the Transouth Financial 400 here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. The race won by Dale Earnhardt. Stay with us.
Train air conditioners can really take it. They can also dish it out. Get a quick savings rebate of up to $350 when you buy a Train air conditioning system. It's hard to stop a train.
In addition to this rebate from Desir Central Air and the Train Company, you can also qualify for rebates of up to $650 from FP&L. Call Desir Central Air for more information.
A lot of people think you have to fully understand the rules to appreciate hockey. And while it does help you understand the action, it's certainly not a requirement. In fact, a number of Lightning fans probably don't know there even are any rules. Lightning hockey. When we hit the little black round thing, the other guy's square thing with the net, you cheer. Okay?
You know, Buffalo's pretty famous for its wings, but, you know, we got some pretty good centers, too, eh?
A? You like the A?
Now let's do it again.
Back at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, the Transouth Financial 400 already over, won by Dale Earnhardt.
And one reason that we've got so much field time is there was a threat of rain when the day started, and we came on the air and took the green flag.
Yep.
You know, we had 15, 20 minutes of pre-race planned, Had a little nice feature that Pam put together, and not able to use any of that. So.
And you know, another nice thing about this is a lot of people think that when the green or the checkered flag drops, the race is over, everybody's job is finished, and that is not the situation. As Jerry Punch can tell us, there's a lot of stuff going on down there, Jerry.
Bob, this is a part that the fans who normally watch every Sunday never see. Now, these NASCAR officials have been here since about 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and they're going to be here till probably dark, and they are every day when the track is open, and particularly on Sunday afternoons. I'm with Gary Nelson, the director of competition, and Gary, behind me is an area that NASCAR inspects the cars following the race. Now, how do you decide which cars you're going to tear down?
Well, we don't have a set way of doing it because the teams would figure that out. So we have a lot of random checks where we take a guy like top 5 one day. Maybe we'll pull out a number before the race starts. Whoever finishes 8th today, whoever finishes 22nd today, we'll get them. The top 3 always for sure we'll get, but then it's pretty random after that. We always end up getting about 6 or 7 cars during an event.
Now, I'm told that in one event you thought that you wanted to be particularly picky, and you tore down 14 starters after the race. I mean, half the field came down, so the drivers and car owners really don't know what car is going to come down.
Well, you're right. You know, one of the things as an official, what we need to do with the competitors is always keep them guessing. Don't ever have a steady routine that are giving a guy an opportunity to figure out, well, I can beat the system because they always just tear down the top 5, and I can finish as high as 6th and not ever get tore down. So we always want to make sure that we're random as we can be to keep the competitors guessing and make sure, you know, a guy that normally finishes 30th, he'd be happy as heck to finish 6th if he knew that a big engine would be able to do that for him. So we're always careful to make sure that we're going back to the field and as random as we can be.
Gary, you mentioned the term getting them. Now, behind us, they're working on some cars. We're going to stay out of the NASCAR inspection area, but what are they looking at here? This is a Dale Earnhardt car, the car that won the race. What all are you going to look at in the teardown?
Well, a typical teardown, and it really, so, you know, our view from NASCAR standpoint is if we can have a thorough inspection, that would deter people from being tempted to try and break the rules. And so it's very important to us to really look at the cars closely, especially post-race. You know, it's hard to tear down an engine and then have the guy put it back together and race it. But when the race is over, a guy knows that if he runs well or if he gets chosen on a random selection, we're going to look all the way down inside the engine and actually measure the bore of the cylinders and the stroke of the crankshaft. We look at the cylinder heads. We weighed the car, check the heights of it, check the rear axle gearing. We'll check just about anything that the team may be tempted to gain an advantage over the other teams by trying to run something that's not legal. And really, it's worked out really well for us because once we tear them down, in almost every case, we haven't found anything. But we instruct our people to be as thorough as possible, check every part that you can check, just to make sure that all the other teams know that we are looking at it very closely.
We might mention that the pole sitter also gets torn down on the afternoon following first day qualifying, so they've already looked at the Bill Elliott pole-winning engine. Gary, I know you're busy. Thanks for taking a moment to join us, and we'll let you go back and continue to inspect these cars in the post-race area. Let's check in now with John Kernan.
Well, you know, Jerry, usually this time after the race, you and I are like busting to the airport so we can get home. Look what these guys, I'm amazed. Look at all these guys it takes to push one of those big toolboxes that they use out there on pit road. It takes to push into the truck. No, actually, after a race is over, these guys have to bring back every tool and piece of equipment that they have taken out onto pit road. It's a very time-consuming job, and it can be very, very, very tiring. And Norman Koshimizu, a good buddy of mine, Norman, how tiring is it? You know, you guys are competing in the race. You're carrying those big old gas cans out there to gas the car. Now you got to put all your toys in the truck.
It's not too bad here. We just had to put in half a can of gas in. We had to get tires before.
Yeah, but what about now? You know, now you guys got to load up the truck. That's got to be kind of time-consuming, and you know, make it. You'd rather drive this truck and get it out of here, wouldn't you?
Well, it's not bad. We got plenty of help, so everything works out pretty good. And I quit driving the truck, so everything's fine. It's close here, but I've been able to fly lately, so everything's first class. You know, a little scotch of water.
You know, Koshimizu, I mean, you're not a good old Southern boy. Now, how did you get involved in stock car racing?
Just hanging around stock cars. Hanging around racetracks. I just got started. I enjoy stock car racing. messed around with cars just about all my life. That's got interested and got back east and started going to stock car tracks, and that's how I got into it.
Well, that's good. You sound like you're a little bit nervous, but, you know, this guy is one of the stars of our Pit Crew Challenge, I believe, that we're going to see at the beginning of the Bristol race coming up in 2 weeks. Was that a lot of fun to do that?
It was a lot of fun to do, but we sure messed up today.
Okay, thanks a lot, Norman. Bob?
Thank you, John. The work goes on. The trucks are being loaded, and everybody making their way out of Darlington Raceway. The 1700th NASCAR Winston Cup race, won by Dale Earnhardt today. Shop Top is coming up.
Grab your sunscreen and get ready for a scorching spring, because Honda's Red Hot Deal Days are back at your local Honda dealer, and they're hotter than ever, with great deals on red hot new Hondas, along with demo rides, zero down financing on many models, free service inspections and appraisals, helmet trade-ins, free Honda hats, and a whole lot more. You better get moving. Honda's Red Hot Deal Days end April 30th. Don't let it pass you by.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Ball of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. So much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Doesn't this raise great balls of fire?
You could win a trip to the Fast Track Driving School with Bosch Platinum Plugs.
There's only one beer with pure refreshment written all over it. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft and MGD Light. Why so many people are getting out of the old and into the cold.
Our post-race show here at Darlington continues. The race won earlier today by Dale Earnhardt, and the manufacturers' battle now really is close. Only 3 points separate Ford and Chevy. Ford has 39 points with 3 wins and 5 pole positions. Chevrolet has won twice, including here today, but no pole positions. 39-36 as far as the points are concerned. Pontiac third in the manufacturers' battle with 20 points. They, of course, have no wins. Dr. Jerry Punch is still working hard down there. What's up, Jer? Oh, yeah, right.
Hi, guys. We were just trying to find someone to talk to here. We just happened to stop by the old Nestle's Crunch Wagon.
Uh-huh.
Now, you know people work hard here in the garage here after the race. Now, Alma here is one of the smarter concessionaires here at the racetrack. Everyone closing their little concession areas and going home. She knows that when the race is over, all those hot crew members and drivers and camera people like Corky Corcoran, and she realizes that eventually when we go off the air, that somewhere from way above, Benny Parsons will head her way. And when he does, there are 63 ice cream sandwiches, a couple of drumsticks, and Benny, she didn't save it. Yeah, didn't save enough there. Oh, here you go. Start on that one, Benny. How's that for you? Okay. And man, this little wagon does feel good. But
Jerry, do you have $1, $1.50 I could borrow?
Because
I would like to get an ice cream.
Okay.
You know? I mean, after all, you are a doctor.
Well, yeah, but I play one on television.
See, all I have is just a bunch of stuff.
Well, now you think we're the only ones here? Les Richter back there, you see him have an ice cream cone. Let me go over here. Now here, Mike Elton and Les Richter. Now, Les, you guys have to stay here till this whole thing is over, but you pick a good place to hang around near the ice cream truck.
Well, ice cream is always good for you.
I don't have any money.
And it's nice to be able to stick around and have a little bit of ice cream.
We talked to Gary Nelson. It's really a very extensive post-race inspection you go through. We make light of it, but your officials come here early in the morning. Mike, what time? What, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning? Your guys have to come here and be in the garage area, and they won't leave till probably, what, 7 or 8 tonight?
Well, this morning the garage opened at 7 o'clock, but we were here about 6 o'clock, and then we'll leave about probably 6 this evening.
So it's a long day for the NASCAR officials that are working in the inspection area. These two guys are making sure that no one absconds with the ice cream truck. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, John Kernan has arrived, and drumsticks are on the way. Gentlemen, from us, enjoy.
Thank you very much.
So that's the situation from the ice cream truck here at Darlington. Back with more just ahead of Shop Talk with Dale Earnhardt.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. Threats that can shorten its life. Corrosion, oxidation, acids. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that actually senses changes in the driving environment and adapts its own molecular structure instantly. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State. If the terrain or altitude changes, so does Quaker State. Quaker State virtually thinks for itself to protect your engine, whatever the conditions, so your engine lasts longer. Quaker State. The intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Question: if your cold pill's so good, how come your symptoms keep coming back? Because your pill doesn't work 24 hours. Introducing Effidac 24, the first cold tablet so effective just one works 24 hours. Look, most cold pills drop off after 6 hours, the rest after 12, so your symptoms keep coming back. But just one Effidac gives consistent relief for 24 hours, so your symptoms don't come back. New 24-hour Effidac keeps cold symptoms from coming back.
People ask me to endorse the strangest things. A green recliner? Not much of a sitter. I like going fast. 68 Shelby, and there's only about 300 and some odd made. This car rips. Pure oil now. Keeping them up's half the fun. They all get Pure Later filters. Pure oil later. I snag them from the track.
Legends live. Pure Later, Pure Later.
We're back at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. The Transouth Financial 400 won by Dale Earnhardt here today. And as we pan this facility, you can see some of the improvements that are taking place here. There's the new Tyler Tower that was built on the backstretch. And of course, the front stretch will be the back stretch here in a couple of years. They're going to flip-flop this. They're going to repave the track. They're going to make many, many improvements to make this, as we said earlier, one of the best facilities to come and watch a race. Shop Talk, a 1-hour special with Dale Earnhardt, is coming up in just a few moments, about 5 minutes from now at 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
It's just been announced, and just in time to give you big savings on Florida's best-selling full-size car. A surprisingly low limited-time lease payment of just $299 a month on Mercury Grand Marquis. That's right, just $299 a month puts you behind the wheel of the #1 selling Grand Marquis with rear-wheel drive, V8 power, 6-passenger comfort, enormous trunk space, and standard dual airbags. Grand Marquis, Florida's #1, now with a great lease payment. Make it #1 with you. But hurry, it all ends April 5th.
Tommy Morrison's on the road back to a world championship, but unbeaten Brian Scott is looking to be the road block. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the Transouth Financial 400 brought to you by Menon, Speed Stick Deodorant and Speed Stick Antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. Our post-show continues, post-race show continues with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, the race is over, but the racing continues. Actually, the two of the best crew chiefs of the business standing with me now, thinking about their day and what they maybe could have done. They both had wonderful days. Steve Mill to my right, Larry McReynolds to my left, Mark Martin and Ernie Irvin's crew chiefs. These guys said, let me ask you this. Tough day for the drivers. How tough was it for you guys in the pits?
Well, it's kind of nerve-wracking. You know, this is a tough old racetrack, and with the tire war, you know, they have a great tire here, and Goodyear's tire was just wonderful. There was some concern we're going to tear some tires up, so we went to Goodyear and said, what do we need to do? And they told us, and we followed it to the letter, and it was just perfect all day. We never hurt a tire, but we were kind of tight, being nervous about it, because other people had trouble. But I think they strayed from what Goodyear said to do.
His hands are raw from changing tires. Larry, could you guys have gone another 100 miles, 74 laps?
Ernie could. I don't know if my mind could have went another 70-something laps. You know, it was really hard and strenuous, you know, trying to figure out what to do. You know, the car seemed like it would run. And again, ditto in what Steve said, Goodyear gave us some good recommendations. And it seemed to solve the problem. But when people start diving in after 35 to 40 laps for fresh tires, you can't sit out there and run, giving up that kind of time on the racetrack. And I know we was getting close to out of tires. I'm glad they've shortened this thing. Hopefully Rockingham and Dover will follow suit.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, you know, a lot of trucks are pulling out. The Miller Jr. and Draft crew is one of the fastest pit crews, but Rusty, they're awfully slow at loading up the truck.
Hey, that's okay. They did a great job today. I mean, that car, we had the fastest car here, no doubt about it. And I tore the tire up. It wasn't Goodyear's fault, it was my fault. We ran a little too low air pressure, but man, those pit stops were just unreal. I come around there one time, they all had hamburgers in their mouth. Mouth, and they're standing there going, we're all done.
Rusty Wallace just finishes 12th and will make that 33rd in today's race.
The Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
Hi, I'm Joe Gibbs. You know, as an NFL coach and a NASCAR owner, I've always tried to get the best talent behind me. So when I got Nutmeg Mills together with Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett, I knew we'd have a winner. It's Nutmeg's official NASCAR collection for race fans who want to stand out from the crowd. Now, if I could just get some of these drivers behind me during the race.
Official NASCAR apparel by Nutmeg Mills. Available at fine stores everywhere.
Need a score or some late-breaking sports news? Call all day, every day, right away. The ESPN Update Line.
Hoosier fans, there's nothing like the tradition and glory of Indiana basketball.
Like 20 minutes of basketball our way.
Now, you can relive all of IU's greatest moments in Hoosiers Hoops, a fantastic new video from Sports Illustrated. Plus, you'll also get an authentic Indiana team hat. And best of all, those gifts are absolutely free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated.
Indiana wins it.
Hoosiers Hoops captures the most memorable moments in IU basketball history.
Indiana wins the championship.
From Branch to Bobby, you'll see all of IU's championships like you've never seen them before. Call now and get Hoosiers Hoops, plus your Indiana team hat, along with 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the swimsuit issue, for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Nobody plays basketball like the Hoosiers, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
Stay tuned here on ESPN. Coming up next, a 1-hour special edition of Shop Talk featuring today's winner of the Transouth Financial 400, Dale Earnhardt. We'll have a conversation with him. We hope that you will join us. The series takes a weekend off next weekend for Easter. We'll be back in action 2 weeks from this weekend with activity at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee. We hope you will join us for that. Dale Earnhardt wins here this afternoon over Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Lake Speed. For Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, this is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.
Hot off the grill, next. The wall at Indianapolis, really hard. More on that story. Here's Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Benny Parsons. You know, Jimmy Spencer's lap 9 contact with